Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try to run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamos Report. Can you guys hear me? Let me get once if you can hear me. Let me see what's going on here. All right. Okay, now I fixed that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the Afridamos Report. I want to welcome all of you to another edition of the Afridamos Report. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys remember yesterday's conversation. I think you guys did. And many of us. Do you say there's an echo? Guys, let me know how the sound is doing before I delve into this. Give me a second here. Let me fix that. Let me fix the sound. One moment. All right, guys. Hopefully now this works much better. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the Afridamos Report. As you guys see on the title, it says Plantation Dwellers. And I know it's going to trigger some people, right? But by the end of today's show, all of you will understand what I'm talking about. We would come to an understanding here. But before I get into that, I want to paint a picture, a scenario that is familiar to most of you that are watching me here, especially if you're from Africa, like myself. When I was growing up, people, everyone I knew, all the little boys, girls, everyone I knew had a mom and a dad, grandfather, auntie. There is a structure. That was what is normal from where I came from. It wasn't normal. I don't remember seeing ever, like, let's say, a single woman living by herself. That was never a thing. People take so much pride in marriage. There is structure. With that structure comes a culture for you not to tarnish the image of your family, right? So they take so much effort to teach you the right things, to respect elders, to respect other people. Isn't this the truth? You don't go out there because whatever you do reflects upon your people, especially, like, for instance, my family structure. It's clan. That's why, like, we say it as Kabila. You guys have heard the Somalis say it here. It's interesting that, both my tribe and the Somalis use the same word to describe the same thing. They call it Kabila, meaning you're part of a clan. And in that clan, there are structures. You respect everybody. You respect people outside of that clan as well. because you want to be treated the way, or you want to other people to treat you the way you want them to treat you as well. It's the golden rule. So the bottom line is, it starts with family, right? But then take that same structure, imagine the opposite of that structure, the opposite of that, where you go to a place, that same place, right? Where everybody has a mom and a dad and all these structures I'm talking about. The only people you would see who don't have father is if their father is dead. And when the father dies, there used to be devastating cries. Some of you that lived in Africa, you know this. What are they crying for? Because it's the head of the families who holds that compound together. Because for most, that's where the division starts, the disintegration of that home. The man is who holds the peace. Let's be real. You guys have seen that, right? But then you flip that, and then you start hearing the women of that same structure where there was peace, tranquility, respect for the man. And then you look at the opposite, you see some places where there is no father structure, no father. The kids are rowdy, they are disrespectful, they hate any male figure. So that does happen, okay? That does happen. So today, these are the two structures I'm going to talk about here to point out the obvious of what is happening, what you are dealing with. I have a video to break down. It's by Tariq Nasheed. I want to show you a pattern of what is going on here. He likes to use the word plantation quite a bit. Plantation buck breaking, plantation big mamas, plantation coons, what else? Plantation shufflers. What else? Yes, he uses plantation quite a bit. There is a fascination with that word, plantation. So, with all the extremists in this quote unquote new identity called FBA, you guys remember, he was the one that put this together, right? So, us as Africans, like I said, and other regular people, we say all a man has is his word, right? That's how we do business. You would see in our communities, the person doesn't have to put up collateral. Their word can be good enough. Majority of the time, the person would make up, follow through. Sometimes some don't, but there is a shame attached to it, right? Because that individual to be consistent in their word. They are consistent within, the story they are telling you about who they are, meaning their identity is consistent. I mean, for crying out loud, imagine, you meet a man. You meet a man today. This year, he tells you, okay, like me, you guys have heard this sound so many times. This Soninke warrior, the true African. And next year, you are hearing, oh, I'm no longer a Soninke warrior. Now I'm an Igbo warrior. And I'm coming here telling you guys, I'm an Igbo. If you have common sense, would you take me serious? Would you do business with me? Would you see me as a respectable man? Someone whose word you can take? Would you? I mean, if you have common sense, you wouldn't, because you're like, who is this man? This man was telling us he is a Soninke. Now, all of a sudden, he is Igbo. You won't take it serious. So Tariq Nasheed came up with what you're seeing as FBA. He came up with it, and he is promoting it by any means necessary. He is using other people, like he's doing it at the expense of other people. You guys thought he was going after just the Africans? No. Any other group that would give him the attention, that's what he goes with. He is selling a story here. He's selling a story here that he knows there are many people in America, the people he's talking to, are suffering from identity crisis. They are suffering from identity crisis. You're seeing people who, when they were growing up, the biggest thing they aspired to be is to go to prison, because going to prison in America, especially in the hood, that means being a man. Some are gonna come here and try to deny it, but we've all heard people brag about how they are tough men because they gave up their freedom. This is a group of people who, when you're polite and nice, they equate that to be weakness. This is not normal in normal functioning societies. It is not normal. It has absolutely nothing to do with one's skin color, but the way one was raised, what was put in one's mind, what they were made to believe. That's what's been exhibited. And Tariq Nasheed, obviously, he is using that. He's using that to profit off of it. But in the meantime, he's doing it at the expense of you and others. In the meantime, the dysfunction spills over on the streets. I am not speaking of something I don't know firsthand. I told you guys I worked in a prison before. I have seen where women, not just women, these women would probably identify themselves as FBA, where they themselves are the ones that put a man in that prison, right? But somehow they have children. And that same woman would turn around, go to court, and beg the judge to allow her to go visit this man. But the only way she can visit him, they would say, when the child can come. But now, there is visitations during the weekend, right? Weekend and during the week. But you would see this same woman who put that man in that prison would take those kids out of school, male children. Now their only identity, the only thing that is shown in front of them is that mother. So that mother, what she does is take that kid out of school to go visit the father that she put in prison. So I see that. So children repeat what they see. A lot of the anger that you see in many, I've dealt with angry men. It's not normal for a man to be that angry. It's not normal to be angry. This is why you see all that flare up emotions built up, where, it's displaced anger. Displaced anger. Majority of the people that I encountered in that prison of all race, do you know what they have in common? They were all raised by single mothers. That's what they have in common. So what they think, for instance, think about this logic. A young boy, all they see is their mama being hostile towards them because the mama hates the father. She did not wait to get married. She just met this guy at the club. Oh, I just knew him. You know what? We just made a baby. There's no structure there, right? But now, this same woman in her head, when she met this guy, he didn't have no job. He did not have anything. But now all of a sudden she thinks because he has a child, he's going to become, Elon Musk or something. He's going to become genius. You see? So the child is innocent, right? The child is innocent in this. So that kid over time sees this mom, because obviously she's going to struggle. She's going to have 2-3 jobs. This is why I do everything for my baby. No, what those children need is the father. Not, it's like people making babies and then going to look for fathers for those children. In America, they make it look like it's normal to look for stepfathers for children. When kids, what they need is their fathers, their mothers, the actual people. So this little kid is there, the mom, the kid looks like the father. She takes all her anger out on him, calling him all kind of black ass, giving him low self-esteem. So this kid, he goes to school. He goes to school. Now his spirit have been broken, demoralized. So now the only way he gets attention, is by acting out. So the anger in the kid is bottled up. So now a male figure comes, security or school policeman, turns out to be black, right? Talks to that kid, tries to stop the kid. The kid is rude and disrespectful to this man. You know why? Because the kid is hurt deep inside. He's looking at it like, you can only correct me here. I wish you can come home with me. You can come home and structure home for me. In the meantime, the mom is like, I do everything for my baby. You buy them Jordans, food, all. You think that's what they need. But they are coming from school, you're going to work. Broken. So that kid looks to the street for answers. Bear with me. I'm building you the structure of our conversation here. So that kid is not going to remain a kid. Now he starts looking for his answers on the streets. He gets his education from there. Pretty soon, prison becomes the next stop. Starts reading some books. Put on some, go there and, tattoo up. Now they are OG, right? So you see, many of these people that hide behind a lot of the things they say, they know you haven't seen it. I'm telling you, behind bar secrets, where I was the man with the key, I can enter any door there because I was the one with the key. So I interact with all types of people. Where real conversations are held, where you watch and see what is going on. So the point is, Tariq, he preys on those people because he knows they are looking for acceptance. That's what they're looking for. They just want to belong. A lot of these people on the internet that are now saying stuff about African this, African that, they've never probably even thought about Africans. But now, all of a sudden, because Tariq said it, it must be true. Well, oh, that's the new thing, FBA, this is what we're supposed to do. They hop on like sheeps, like sheeps. So that's what you're seeing. So he's exhibiting how many things. He's a representation of how so many of them think that follow him. This is why even it blows my mind where some of these people make me laugh. They would say, oh, I'm FBA. They believe in that ideology. They support Tariq. But yeah, you're like, oh, I'm also cool with the Africans. I'm in Africa. But here's a guy who insults Africans, look down on Africans. But so even these people are flip-flopping. Last time we checked, they were a different identity. So if they all of a sudden they are this new identity, what do you as an African, other people, what do you make of that? Have you ever thought about that? A chameleon, a human being operating like a chameleon right in front of us, trying to rewrite history. Literally, trying to rewrite history. That's what you're witnessing. And I know some are going to come and say, oh, the Africans are mad. Oh, they started this. But it's not about that. You will see. This is why every time I come up here, what do? I bring a video that I break down. So you see it. Some of you are like, oh, you're bringing division. Really? Division? Did you not just listen to the video that I broke down? Like, I'm not making you do anything. You know what's in your heart. If the truth is in your heart, you won't be afraid of what I'm saying here. I know to some of you, this is new. To see someone like me come here and surgically break these things down to the teeth. You see, many Africans you see online, they want to pander. Africans need a strong voice like myself to break these things down. Because many Africans have bought the lie. They didn't know. They didn't see another African coming saying, no, this isn't true. Their instincts, they know what this person is saying is BS. And then the ones that say, oh, we're cool with Africans. We don't subscribe to these people. Okay. Those same people, right? Fine, they'll be muted, they'll be quiet. But let some Africans respond to some plantation talk. Pretty soon, they have answers. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? It's pretty amazing. So that's my thing. I say, I want to unite people with the truth instead of the lie. Don't you guys like that? This is why all of us are able to meet here. You see, look at it. A ADOS FBA person, people that say they subscribe to this ideology, they come here on the channel. You have freedom of expression. You're allowed to talk. Anyone can call in and talk. It doesn't matter, white, black, blue, green. Everyone is welcome, and you will be respected. But go to Tariq's calls. Jason Black, the others. This is why you Africans that call into these places, you guys are really, really disrespecting yourself. You clearly see how others have been treated when they call. They're not trying to have real conversation with you. They're not trying to do that with you. Tariq is there to clown you. Okay? That's what he's there to do. So I caught a conversation between him and talking about Italians now. Italians. That's the video I'm going to break down. I'm going to point out the patterns you're going to see and judge for yourself. See for yourself. If somebody who, like he said, he's a leader, right? This is what he subscribes to. Is this the type of person you would ever want to do anything with? And, you know, Africans that call into this show, tribal African, you're absolutely right. You know, I don't know what is going on in their heads. If they just enjoy getting beat down on. And look, they seem to be from Congo. They seem to be from Congo for some reason. I don't know why. The Congolese, like these Congolese females especially, not all, but so far the ones I see that go into this thinking they're being intellectual, they don't know they're being used as the butt of the jokes. But before we get into that, let me do the copyright disclaimer here. And then we go on to the introduction music. It's still Black History Month. So we'll continue to play that. Here we go.
Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Big flex, my swole up. Double cup and I'm pulled up. Niggas hating like hold up. What's the problem? I'm pulled up. Big flex, my swole up. Hard body, they fold up. Shawty say I done glowed up. Double text on my phone up. Fuck with your boy, I'm the man of the year. I'm not a fan of your peers.
All right, we're back. Happy Black History Month. Yes, Stoic One, you got it. The Internet Seminoles Anthem. It's like you were reading my mind. That's right. That's the Internet Seminoles National Anthem. You guys can thank me for this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to keep you waiting. I'm going to play Mr. Tariq Nasheed's conversation with an Italian American person. Let's hear this conversation, if it's going to be familiar to you. If Mr. Tariq Nasheed and the people that follow him, are these people reasonable human beings? Are they respectful? Are these people antagonists? Are they going antagonizing people? Let's find out.
Going it?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Do we have a Caucasian man here?
Well, I'm Italian. I'm Southern Italian.
Same.
From New York, so it's a little different.
I know. It's still Caucasian, but y'all still got that Moorish blood. Are you Sicilian or what part of it?
Nobliadon, Sicilian, yeah. But I'm also from New York City. It's a whole different. New York City is a whole culture in and of itself.
No doubt.
You know? So if you don't know, I'll school you on that.
No.
You know, I don't even know where you're from.
Yeah,
to be honest.
What's on your mind?
But definitely don't just group me in with Caucasian, bro. Southern Italians had it very rough. They were called the N-word. They were lynched. You sound like you know a lot about history, so
Yeah, I know that. I know that they called you guineas. They called you guineas when you came
They
over.
called us the N-word too.
I know, and
They
guinea
called
is
us
a word for African. So
exactly. Thank you.
I
Thank
know.
you.
But yeah,
100%. Where are you from, by the way? I'm curious. Where are you from?
but you mentioned the lynching. As far as being lynched, you guys got paid for that. They gave y'all reparations, and they had to pay off Italy. So they had to apologize to the Italian government after they lynched the Italians. I think that was down in Louisiana.
Oh, can you guys hear me? Sorry about that. Sorry.
Where they did
What year was that?
sometime in the 1800s, they did a mass lynching of a lot of Italians because the
Well, the
Italian.
mass lynching was around 1891.
So you guys see how Tariq is pretending to know about this man's history. Do you guys see this? He has no problem displaying disrespect. You will see he will try to mock, ridicule, and just watch how crazy he becomes. Okay, let's see.
Right,
I'm not
That's
mistaken.
right. It was in 1800s, like I said, 1800s, and it was down in
I'm talking about the reparations. When did the reparations come?
that. I'm not sure, but I know it came pretty soon because they had to apologize to the Italian government and they had to pay the family, the people who were lynched. So, but anyway, what's on your mind? What's
Well,
going on?
they fucked the Italians anyway in 1924 with the Immigration Act that basically stopped all immigration from southern Italy at that time.
Can you guys hear me? Somebody said them. Can you guys hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Put a 1 and let me know if you can hear me. All right. Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, but they start letting you be white around that time too, around 19.
No, it's really after World War II.
Right.
So, guys, do you hear? You remember when Tariq, how he skipped past what the man said? Did you hear that? So he's telling him about, how they used to stop, the Southern Europeans from coming here, which is the Italians too. So the civil rights thing they talk about, Senator Sellers, he fought for the Italians, for them to, not just Italians, but Southern Europeans, to increase the quota. But why didn't Tariq tell him? Tariq is gonna try to take credit for this and watch the conversation how it goes.
The Italians fought in World War II that they started doing that.
Yeah, they started
But
classified.
there were also guys that started getting prominent in the 1930s that were encouraging Italian Americans to assimilate and, but there's a lot of, actually, we're kind of leading into where I'm going with this, which is that, these Italian Americans also paved a lot of the ways for Black Americans.
Not really. Go ahead.
Well, you had the anarchists as early as 1901 that were, using violence against oppressors and tyrants. There's a lot of different ways. There was Vito, what the fuck was his name again? Mark Cantonio, who was, ran, most of the neighborhoods in New York that were Italian, that are Black now, or used to be Italian.
So, guys, New York history, the man is telling the truth. Where do you know Italians to be based in the United States? New York, New Jersey, those places, in the cities. They've been there, since the 1880s or before. Everyone knows this. If you go there, you will see it for yourself. And all these black rappers, you see, Jay-Z and all these people, who do they try to imitate? The Italians. They grew up, they look up to the Italians. We all know this, right? The Italians clearly, you see them, they were the ones that live in the cities before black people moved there in the 40s. You guys remember I was talking about that a while ago? Some of them came and said, oh, Afridamus talking about the blacks fled the South. That's what history told us. But Tariq, when you see many trying to rewrite history, I'm trying to show you where they got it from. The man who came up with FBA. So if you truly are somebody that thinks for themselves, here is your brain working. We're breaking it down. Here's your brain.
Well, the thing is, but the thing is, the Italians would actually, when they commit crimes, they would oftentimes hide in black neighborhoods. They would hide from the authorities, especially during the 1930s, when they had that big crime wave with, Babyface Nelson, Dillinger, and that whole crime wave. Italians and a lot of them would hide. The mafia would hide in black neighborhoods. So I wouldn't say they did anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to get some kind of resource on that. Yeah, I'd never heard about that.
So, do you see the type of things this man talks about on the internet? Do you see this? So, again, movie stuff. He always wants to take it to criminality. So when you come and face him, it's like things he's fascinated with about the Italians. Those are the things he's throwing up. In America, nobody ever helped the black, according to him. Everything, the blacks built America. Nobody has ever given it. In fact, the blacks own everything. If you listen to him, you see, this is not logical. It's like pie in the sky story. Pie in the sky story. But there are grown-ups who literally believe in this, even though they can just walk outside and go see that, what this man is saying is not real. But they still buy it because they think like they're still in the plantation.
Yeah. I wouldn't think they actually helped us because they came over and benefited.
Well, sure. I mean, look up Vito Marcantonio. He's the guy that was running Harlem in the 1930s. He was a very early civil rights activist. He, pushed for a lot of that. I mean, if it wasn't for the Italian Americans are the ones that got all the labor laws passed.
Well,
before the labor laws, there was a horrific abuse of all the Americans that were working during the Industrial Revolution. When the factories went up, they were losing 10% of their workforce a week to death. They were losing 10%. They had children working. Nobody gave a fuck. They had them working 18, 20 hours a day, 6-7 days a week. So the Italians fought for the labor laws
but that wasn't for
black Americans benefited from.
But that wasn't for black people.
So everything, right? So mind you, the man, he said, what did Italians do? The man just named what Italian did, and it benefited black people. He's like, but that wasn't for black people. Why would an Italian, why do you as a man, even speaking like this online, why do you expect Italians to fight for you? But they would fight for themselves, and when they win something, you benefited from it. You see? So that's what the man is explaining. The Italians were about, these unions. Mind you, they came here as immigrants. They fought, they changed laws, and stepped in. They used to be the ones that lived in the areas that the white people didn't want to live in. They were looked at as black, during those years. The Italians, they didn't become white until after World War II, because you guys remember Mussolini, like they showed great military capability, and after a long time, then they became white. Eventually, they accepted them, just like eventually they accepted the Irish prior to them. So what Tariq is saying here doesn't make sense. He is trying to insult this man's people's achievements to try to make himself feel good. If you've achieved something, you don't need to insult or put other people down for yours to be true. But this is what he's doing. This is what the others are doing, those who listen to him. And you ask yourself, every time you start making sense, they become emotional. You know why? Because they don't know what they're talking about. This is normal. If you're talking to someone about a subject they know nothing about, but they're just parroting what they heard, when you challenge them to get out of it, they're going to get loud and start telling you, oh, you're disrespecting me. No, I'm just asking you a simple question. That's all. If you know what you're talking about, just explain it. But they don't, because they heard Tariq said it, so therefore it is true. You would think they have the most powerful machine in their hand, iPhone. You can at least look up these histories. But no, Tariq said it, it must be true.
So,
Well,
we were
Black
still
Americans benefited from it, though.
but we benefited from our own labor, though. As foundational Black Americans, we benefited from our own labor. We built the country, so we benefited from our own labor.
Well, you didn't build the cities. The Italians built the cities, and the Irish, and all the cities that Black Americans migrated to by choice in the early 1900s. They did the same thing that you're saying that the African immigrants are doing.
Did you guys hear that? Do you hear you guys remember I talked about projection, right? I even did the show where, 1940s when the blacks migrated from the South, running away from the KKK to come to the cities that the Italians built. You see, the man just called him out to his face. He said, we built the country. The man's like, no, you didn't build the cities. And that's true. The layout and the structure of the city is fact proof of that. And who owns what proves that too. So the man said, oh, you guys did exactly what you're accusing the Africans of. You fled from the South. Guys, now you understand some of these words they use, right? It's code word for they're calling you what, the names that they were called. That's what they're calling you. So because you're Black, they're thinking that's what happened to you too. The mind is literally juvenile. Literally juvenile. That's what's happening here. And then you got a bunch of, sheeps who would literally go repeat these things, and people would see them as literally dumb. Like, dude, did you ever sit in a classroom? And these people would get upset when you literally see them as ignorant people. You're like, where did you learn this? So now some of them will literally go tell an Italian person, we built this city. We built this city. When did you build this city? When? So African people, watch and learn. You see how the man challenged them? And the man laid out factual history. But you know, they're going to say the man is a hater. But Tariq can just lie. The man can lie, but when the man stopped him in his tracks, now the man is a white supremacist or a racist. Let's watch.
If the Italians did that, why didn't they build the shit in Italy?
They did. It was the
No,
Roman
they
Empire.
didn't.
What are you talking
No,
about? They
was
built
sir,
a million
Roman-
things in it.
Did you guys hear something familiar there? He said, Tariq said, if you guys did, why didn't you build Italy? But they did. You see? But they did. So now he's insulting Italian history too. Watch.
Really?
A zillion years ago, sir, and it's still raggedy now. The Roman ruins are still.
Well, they built the Bank
Sir,
of America,
sir,
right?
They
They were the first.
Bank of America, the biggest bank. You guys see how the man is naming the things Italians built? He doesn't have to, put other people down to do this. To do this. So every point Tariq raised is based in he's speaking to the feelings of those who like to say, we built America. Yeah, nobody else was working in America. It's just the slaves in the South. That's what they're telling you.
Yeah, in California, I know that.
But that was the first bank that actually provided money to people that were poor.
Why didn't they do all that in Italy?
We're talking about America right now. I don't
No,
care
no.
about
If
Italy.
they did, no, no. If they
About
did all
America.
that, so why was Italy broke, poor, and funky?
So he's trying to bait the man into talking about Italy. The man's like, I don't care about what goes on in Italy. I'm an American. We're talking about America. So now he's gonna bait the man. He's now insulting Italy. He said, Italy, why is Italy broke and funky? Where do the black millionaires or the black people that aspire to see themselves as equal to white people, where do they go? Where do they go vacationing at? For black people to feel like they have money in America, the rich ones, where do they go shopping at? Exactly. Italy. You answered it. The place he's calling broke and funky. So now you're going to get some of his followers, again, who probably have never left their hood, is going to run around and repeat this. This is what you're seeing.
Talking about America right
But we're
now.
talking. But if you
I'm
say
not, I don't care about Italy. I don't know why you're even bringing Italy up.
But if you the one who said the Italians did all this stuff.
Italian Americans.
Why didn't they do that back?
Who cares? What I'm talking about is how they helped black. They paved the way for black Americans.
They didn't pave a thing for black Americans.
Africans, did you hear this? So you guys, this is our projection. You see, look at the word that the words that the Italian man is using. Of course, he's going to call him the white man. So you got to trust him. He's white, okay? Because the black people trust the white man more than anyone. Don't let them fool you. Because the white man knows the history. He wrote it all. Okay? He wrote it all. So the man is taking him to task. He's taking him to task. Look at what he's resorting to. Insulting the man. You remember his conversation with the Somalis online? Go back and listen. Listen to who started being disrespectful to anyone. Same tactics. Same tactics. He said, remember, oh, we paved the way for Africans. No, you see, the Italians paved the way for blacks in the cities. And this is true. This is true.
They came over and benefited from the free labor and wealth generated by Black Americans.
No. The Black Americans moved to where the Italians and the Irish lived, and they took their jobs and they took their free housing, and while they were fighting in World War I.
Stop it. Family, we built
Stop it. This is factual. This is factual.
You're revising history. Foundational Black Americans built a nation that immigrants
built. What nation?
So, do you guys hear this? How Tariq, what he's doing is, because he formed FBA, he called the Foundation of Black America. He's trying to force it to officialize it. So this is why if he is using, if he is quote unquote having debates, he's not going to say Black American. He's going to keep saying Foundation of Black America to make it stick. To make it stick. The blacks that worked in the plantations are not FBA. Those are not FBA. Those were real black people. This FBA, these are urban dwellers, aka plantation dwellers. They've never seen a farm in one day in their life. They've never seen a farm one day in their life. You go look at American cities. They're, old pictures taken. Who built America? Go look at the pictures, who you see. Just go look at the pictures. Like they will say, oh, Black America, the slaves built DC. Okay. Sure, they did. It's like saying the Mexicans built America. So somehow the people, so you designed a place, you brought laborers, but no, you're not the one that built it. It is the laborers. That's what they're telling you. Without the thinking, without the person that thought it, it wouldn't come to life. Without the man drawing it, it wouldn't come to life. But let's continue.
And they were in 2-3 states. What are you talking? They were mostly in Virginia. What are you talking about? The North always outperformed the South.
Stop it.
If it wasn't for the North, you would still be in slavery. What are you talking about?
How so? Because now you're trolling.
Because the North won the war. What are you talking about, bro?
The North won the war because foundational Black Americans started fighting for the Union, because the Union was.
Guys, doesn't this man sound so childish? So, white people with their might, with their weapons, trained soldiers. These people couldn't win a war, but people who are enslaved in plantation, they are not soldiers until those people joined. Isn't this a juvenile way of talking? How dumb can you be to even believe what he is saying? So the North, mind you, the North, with their machinery, with their money and everything, with, fight a military battle, they could not win. But a group of people who have not been battle tested, they don't know what this is, those are the people that had to come and finish the war. This is what Tariq is doing to Black people in America. This is what he's doing to them online. He's literally, going out there saying these things. And they cheer him. Yeah, Tariq. Yeah.
Losing. Go ahead. Because
Say
now
that again? I didn't hear the last thing you said.
Yeah, because what I'm not going to let you do is start trolling, because you're trying to ramp up some trolling. So
I'm not trolling at all. This is all fact, bro.
The Union was losing the Civil War. The Confederates were beating the shit out of the Union. The only reason the Union won is because they started to recruit black soldiers, sir. So it was
That's
foundational.
not true.
It's
That's not true.
100% true. Not only that,
The North always had more money than the.
Stop.
You see what he does? He cuts him off. When the man is telling the truth, he said the man is trying to say the North had more money than the South, which is true, because the North was industrialized and the South relied on the old trade, slavery, having people in the plantation to pick cotton. So the North had a lot more money. It's common sense. You can't compare human labor to machine labor. That's just common sense.
Not only that, black people down in Florida were freeing themselves. They were destroying the plantations down in Florida, the black Seminoles. So black people were not.
The black Seminoles. That's why we got to play the national anthem. So he's having conversation. He accuses the man of trolling, and then he goes into trolling the man. I believe at this point he's trolling the man on his own show.
Not only fighting in the South, they were fighting for the Union. So black people were active in the freeing of themselves. So let's get history clear. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Scarface. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, you had me muted. I didn't say that there was no participation from Black Americans, but to act like Black Americans, there was way more people, that, quote unquote, white people in the North that were fighting that war. And it was the generals, it was the innovation with how to fight battles, it was the strategies, it was the technology that was created by white people that allowed us to win the war. And we fought for you. 600,000 people died.
Right. You didn't fight for foundation.
So, guys, imagine they're going to make it about color, but imagine how disrespectful it would be. Like white person, like your great-grandfather, great people, they gave up their life. 600,000 white people died fighting in that war to free slaves. And then you hear someone like Tariq saying, that's all a lie. That never happened. It was the slaves that freed themselves. How reasonable is that? The man is completely unreasonable. And he would make it about color. This Italian man is speaking facts. It was white people's innovation, all the idea, the military strategies. So somehow you notice when you're talking to someone like Tariq, he always talks about history, but not today. Black people are freer today than before. How come, America in the wars in Iraq, and there's never a last minute where they're losing, and then they bring black people and black people conquer it for America. This only happened during when black people were restricted as slaves. This is the logic that Tariq and the others are telling us. He literally did say the black Seminoles. Did you guys catch that? So the black Seminoles were in Florida freeing themselves, burning the plantations. Fascinating.
Foundational Black Americans, sir. That wasn't a war for foundational Black Americans. The freeing of Black people came later on, but that wasn't the purpose of the Civil War. And you know this, sir. Let's be very clear. Every white person knows this.
That's not true. You think all white? I don't even understand why you refer to white as it's one thing. White's not unified in this country.
Yes, it.
So the guy is hitting him with facts. So now he's going to call him white. He's going to go into, it's the racist trans, and then he's going to accuse him of that. You see, he started out saying, because he's presenting himself as his group, they're the strongest, they built America. So he's going to try to shame him. He's going to try now go to the victimhood mode. Watch. The moment he starts calling him white, that means he's about to take on that victimhood mode. So even if the Civil War wasn't about slavery, but it freed the slave. So who cares? Either way, it freed the slaves. But if you want the one in the plantation, you're the one that's gonna try to jumble up word salad, semantics. You're the one that's gonna care what led up to that. So he thinks he's gonna shame white people and say, well, it's not like they sat there and said, we're gonna go free blacks. Even if they didn't say that, if that led up to it, hey, you should be excited. But he's gonna use shaming tactics because this is what they use against white people. And they use the same technique against Africans. Didn't you see some of them here saying, oh, Afridamus is a typical sellout. He's obsessed with Tariq. When in fact, I'm using his own video. The man is spreading lies. He just wants to be able to say this and no one challenges it. It tells you the mindset of some of these people. It's not like I'm sitting here saying, oh, I think this is what Tariq is doing. No, I'm just letting you hear him and see the pattern of how he goes out and instigates and disrespects other people. And he hides behind a group, an entire race. When you challenge him, it means you're challenging every black person. That's the status he's giving himself. This is why you're seeing some of these, grown men or women in my chat here. Literally, instead of sitting there and saying, let me listen to this objectively. But no, they can't help themselves. They are angry. They suffer from identity crisis. Some might still even be looking for their fathers. Maybe I remind them of their father. They're pretty upset. So they're like, oh, let me go. You know what I want to do with my time today? Go harass Afridamus. That's what I want to do with my time. But at least you're going to learn something.
It is.
It's
Yes.
not unified at all.
Yes,
I don't know how you can say that.
Yes.
If you look at if you want to take the same logic that you will.
No. You're not going to babble here, sir. Let's go back into history. He's talking.
Did you see? He shut him down quick. Every time the man wants to tell the truth, he shuts him down. It's just like that black authority guy, Jason Black. Go listen to his show. The moment you start speaking facts, he would play the banjo music. He would mute you. He would do all kinds of stuff. Oh, some of his shows is like, don't trust old niggas. So these people are sitting here disrespecting their own elders on the internet, saying those people didn't do anything for them. But there are so many people from that civil rights era who, at least they have houses to give to their children. But now they're going to come here and insult those people who literally paved the way for their direct freedom. Because if those people didn't do it, they won't be talking on the internet here talking. But they're insulting those people. He would say, oh, they fought for being with white women. Okay, what if during those times, that's what they were into? If that led up to people being free, what are you complaining about? What are you complaining about? But you see, these are the type of things they tag even their own elders with on the internet. And the young ones, they disrespect the older ones. Tariq promotes that. They, quote unquote, that what they call the black media, they promote that as well. But I want you to see it and not put yourself through all that. Please, guys, share this video so some of these Congolese people can get it. so they don't call into these shows and make a fool of themselves. And the Cameroonians, they tend to also call into these shows and get clowned on.
About New York had more money. The North benefited from slavery too. The slave trade, a lot of it started really up there in Massachusetts. The financial sector of it. New York had slavery, sir. The entire nation benefited from foundational Black Americans' free labor. Is that true or not true, sir?
I'm sure there's truth to that. But you also, it's a symbiotic relationship.
No, it's
that's why, at the end of the day, after the Civil War, the freed slaves were offered to go back to Africa, and they chose to stay.
Okay,
so, and then they migrated to where they were.
We weren't from Africa.
So, guys, the man said they offered the blacks to go migrate back to Africa, which is true, right? He mutes him quick, right? So, I want you to remember this. Tariq says here, he said, we are not from Africa. I want you guys to remember this. So they are not from Africa, meaning they are from America. Watch how this goes. At some point, you would know why I'm telling you to remember this.
Do you understand that? Let me say that again. Most of us were not from Africa. Do you understand that?
I've heard your point. I've heard you say the whole 3% thing, but that's irrelevant. The point is that statistic. No, that statistic means
the Italian man is smarter than him. They like to muddle up things and said only 3% of African slaves were brought to the U.S. Watch the man school him of how Tariq hide things from the ignorant. But he's talking to smart people. Listen to this part.
It's not irrelevant. Most of us were not from Africa. Only 3% of the people who came from Africa came here. Most of us were indigenous to this land. That's why we didn't leave. That's why we didn't want to go to a foreign land. Does that make sense, sir? Mr. Scarface, does that make sense?
When they say 3%, they mean the other 97% went to Brazil and the Caribbean.
Yeah. Did you guys hear this? So the man had so when they say 3%, they try to make it sound like it's only the Americans. No, they were bringing Africans to the Americas. Some went to Brazil, some went to Jamaica or the islands. So 3% of them were brought to the United States. They're talking about the overall. And Tariq knows this. He knows this. But did you guys see the race escapism there? Imagine how many of these people walking around who hate being black. This is why they project. They hate being black. They would do whatever it takes to run away from being from Africa. Their ancestors being from Africa, some of them, they hate this. You literally heard the man say they are not from Africa. How stupid can this be? But the Italian man knows better. But let's see, during this conversation, if Mr. Tariq Nasheed will continue, sticking to saying they are from Turtle Island, which is the United States. Let's hear them out.
Yes.
Not that only 3% of the slaves that were in America were from Africa.
Sir,
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
What do you mean you don't understand? Well,
they have all the numbers. It started off in 1619, right? When you had 10-something people here and 20, and then it became eventually there was a total of 300,000 slaves that were brought here, and they became 4 million by the Civil War. That's the facts.
There were already black people here.
So they are going to continue to hold on to there were already black people here narrative, okay? The Italian man gave facts. Yes, by the Civil War, there were 4 million, slaves in America. So what is he talking about? But Tariq is trying to say, oh, we were already here. Yeah. So he is going to try to say they were here, but the Italian man is going to stick with Africa, which we all know to be true.
Before 1619, that's documented by European.
Tiny amount, not anything that you're talking about.
There were lots of people over here, all over.
And it was tiny. So what? There was all types of people there. There was Italians there too. There was, so there were Mexicans there. There were Native Americans there, but they weren't there in large numbers.
There was no such thing as a Mexican at the time.
Tariq is gonna play games again. The man is still giving him benefit of the doubt. This is what benefit of the doubt conversation is. Tariq is like, well, there was some blacks. The man's like, all right, I'm sure there were many people, different people, but it wasn't in large numbers. Meaning this man, he is a reasonable man. He is speaking, not from emotions, but speaking facts. Okay? But Tariq thinks he wants to change history. Let's hear them out.
There was no transatlantic slave trade.
And Supergirl, thank you for the super chat. So the man is going to ask him direct question.
What are you saying?
Sir, stop gaslighting.
I'm not gaslighting. I don't understand what you're trying to make it like that there was nobody brought here.
You're making up straw man arguments, sir.
The man literally just says things. Now you notice, you realize you've heard these words before, right? Straw man. When you hear all these, quote unquote FBA people running on the internet saying these things, they don't know the meaning. They heard Tariq say it, and they're going to go repeat it. Most of these people are reading at 5th grade level. They don't understand what straw man is. They just say these words because they heard Tariq say it. So if you are a nerd, you're talking to these people online, you're not used to, you don't understand that they don't know what they're talking about. That's why they catch you off guard. You're like, you're talking to them, oh, you're just gaslighting, you straw man. You're like, what? What is going on? Does this man know what this means? Because they heard him say it, and they're going to repeat it.
Straw man argument for what?
There were black people here thousands of years before the white supremacists came.
But there were also people that chose after the Civil War to go back to Africa in Liberia? That they were going to form some kind of a,
Only a handful of people went to Liberia. Most of us didn't go because we knew we were not from there, sir.
So Tariq was only a handful that went to Liberia. So the man is sticking with facts, and literally Tariq is continuing with the delusion and the escapism. So the ones that went to Liberia are just fools. They didn't, mind you, those people are closer to slavery. They were even slaves. Okay? They were free. Slavery was going on. So you would think those people know more about where they come from than some dude, some internet guy in 2022. So he's literally saying the slaves weren't intelligent enough. The people who were enslaved weren't smart enough. They didn't know where they come from. They just came up to them and said to them, you're from Africa, and they just accepted it. They didn't know. When literally there are people who were from Africa who were brought here into slavery, who fought for their freedom, freed themselves, went back to Africa. There are books written about this in their own voice. There are court cases about this where Africans have freed themselves. So what is this guy talking about? There were people who became slaves in America, Africans, and then became free and went back to Africa. Oh, but They didn't know they were from there. The white man tricked them. Oh, okay.
The problem is, foundational Black Americans built this country, and the white supremacists tried to do it by themselves, and they all failed.
You'd have to really prove that. As you're just saying something. I mean, the Union's advantages had to do with their large industrial power.
So the white supremacists, quote unquote, meaning white people, they tried to build America and they failed. But until the Black man, the African came. This is what Tariq. So the white supremacists did not build America. Shoot, I wonder why America looks so much like Europe. Gee, I wonder why I don't see them build it like Nairobi. I don't know. Or Lagos. What is Tariq even talking about? Seriously.
Power and the political skills of its leaders.
Do you understand? Before 1619, they tried to set up other European colonies in North America. Are you aware of that?
Before 1619, sure.
Yes. Do you know which ones they are? I know. I want to see if you know.
So Tariq, he wants to impress the white man to show him, oh, I read some of the white man's book. Isn't it fascinating and weird? Like you're talking to somebody and they're all over the place and, like this. Just to tell you, oh, yes, I know about this. And it has nothing to do with the conversation. He is doing this for the ignorant ones. Because Tariq can't be serious about this conversation. There's no way. I hope he's wearing his suit, in the dark, because he's talking to a white man. You guys know he got to wear his suit when he's talking to the white man. His Sunday clothes.
There was Spain. There was the Portuguese were here before 1619.
And yes, they were. They came 1526. They had San Miguel del Guadape over in South Carolina, and they failed.
Right. And guess who was here in 1492? Columbus. And what the hell was his name? The one that we named America after? The Italian?
Amerigo Vespucci.
There you go.
And do you know the name Amerigo?
Watch. You guys are not going to believe what you're about to hear. You're not going to believe this.
That's not his real name. He named himself after a Black tribe down in Panama.
Yes. That wasn't his real name. He copied a Black tribe. He thought about the place. So, Africa is the Black factory, but somehow, the Blacks in Panama, right? They came from Africa. So, those Blacks, the Africans in Panama at this time, were not in Panama yet because the New World was just discovered. And they named it Amerigo Vespucci, which is a Spanish word. But no, that wasn't. They didn't know the Spanish word. So they went to Panama and found this Black tribe who was not there yet. Because Panama, they brought slaves there. So these slaves were not there. But Tariq is going to insist that no, Blacks are not from Africa. They are from the Americas. Like literally depriving Black Africa of its own people. That's what he's doing. Because he knows many don't want to identify with Africa. They hate being African.
Well, there you go. Let's bring the Italians and the Blacks together.
Okay. So, sir, you're welcome. For us, foundational Black Americans, helping to bring a lane for you to come over and your family to come over from Italy to survive over here and thrive.
You had nothing to do with with the cities. We made the cities for you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sir,
we paved the way for you. You all moved to the cities. You had to flee the South because they were going to fucking run you over.
Sir.
Did you guys hear what the man said? And when you go and read in the history. Why did most black people leave the South? Why did they leave the South? So now you have people on the internet coming here trying to tell you, oh no, black people were not in danger in the South, fleeing so they can thrive. They came, and even today, who is more likely to have business? Who is more likely to employ the other person? An Italian, or an Italian employing a black person, or a black person employing an Italian? Which one is it? So Tariq is definitely not doing, black people any justice. He's here disrespecting his own people. Microbia said, no one in mainstream or academia will ever take Tariq serious. Oh, I know. But you'll be surprised. There are some people who, you go on Twitter, who they try to say they're intellectual, they're in academia, seem to interact with him and take him serious. Just because one read books doesn't mean they're intelligent. Trust me. Wisdom and intelligence are two different things.
You came to the cities and you took jobs from the Irish, you took jobs from the Italians. We paved the way for you.
Sir, you couldn't even pave the way for yourself in Italy. That's why.
So he's going to resort to the insult. He's not going to stick with America. He's going to, just like when they're talking to somebody who's born and raised here, right, in America, they will say to her, oh, what did you do in Nigeria? The guy's like, I was born here. I'm a doctor, born and raised. So why are you talking to me about Nigeria? Let's talk about right here. So this Italian who is American, he is trying to insult the man to say, oh, what did you guys do in Italy? Is Tariq serious?
You got on a boat with $3 and they called you WAPs because you didn't even have paperwork. This is just a guinea without papers, and they called you WAPs. You didn't even have paperwork. Y'all hopped on anything that was floating to get over here, sir. You couldn't even pave the way for your damn self. How you gonna pave the way for us?
You're going to deny the influence of Italian Americans in this country.
Yes, you didn't do
That's what you're trying to tell me right now.
You didn't do a damn thing for us.
Half of black culture right now has.
Did you see he mute the man? So, yes, he's sitting here insulting the Italian man and saying Italian people insulting their contribution in America, when the entire hip hop culture is centered around copying Italians, appropriating Italian culture, wearing Italian clothes. All these rappers you see, what do black people in this mainstream, for them to feel like they are important, they've arrived, they have to wear Italian product. There are people who tattoo Italian words, Italian people's last name on their body. Gucci. I have seen this. Chanel. All these expensive materials the rappers brag about, the ones that you see black people in San Francisco and other main cities, bomb rushing the stores to steal. Guess what stores they are? Designed by Italians. So who is Tariq fooling here? Who is he fooling? This is sad. I don't think, most of you that really go out and perpetrate this, I don't think you understand how sorry you sound.
Stop it. But flood our communities with drugs, if we want to go there. You flooded black areas with drugs and then stole the number running game. It was black people who.
So it was the Italian that flooded them with drugs. It's not people like Freeway Ricky Ross, all these people that black people that rap about being a drug dealer before, crack dealer, in the hoods. No, but it's other people. You see? So you so strong, big and bad. How is other people coming and doing this? So now he's going to deflect again. He's going to bring up another topic which is very juvenile at best. Listen to him. Like, black people invented everything in America. If you listen to Tariq, if you listen to him,
created the numbers game that the Italian mafia latched on to get money. Who influenced who, sir?
The black people didn't even come to New York City until 1915 for the first time. No, they took from the Italians. Prohibition was
stopped black people.
There's entire documentaries about Italians. So again, just like how Amerigo Vespucci stole that name from the black tribe before black people arrived in Panama, according to Tariq, the same way, the Italians stole black people's way, the number games from the blacks in the South, but the Italians were doing it before the blacks came to the city. But somehow they stole it from them. This is crazy.
Were in New York in the 1600s documented. Black people have been in New York from the very beginning, sir. You're just spewing troll nonsense. Black people were always in New York. Black people been in New York, and the mafia took the numbers game from foundational black Americans. The Jones brothers out of Chicago.
Foundational black American was informed until 2 years ago, but he's going to insist again. He's programming the people to be familiar with it. So he can think about it. All these people that are saying, "Oh, I'm FBA, FBA." Tomorrow, Tariq, what if something trendy comes, he switches again? You will see same people call themselves that's something else. That's what's been happening. Every decade is a new identity. Every decade.
Bumpy Johnson, all of these people, sir, you really need to understand.
Listen, if you go look at pictures of New York City in 1900s, it's all white faces, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Look at a census. Look at images and pictures. It's all white slums that were Irish and Italian. There were no labor laws under the Industrial Revolution, and those labor laws were made by Italian Americans, my friend. So if you can't respect that, then you're disrespecting. I think it's time the Italians need to come back together, to be honest, in this country and form a group, because I can see that that's the only way right now that people are actually getting respect.
Did you hear what the man said? Did you hear what the man said? And he's right. Tariq is super disrespectful. The man, he's thinking he's having real conversation with Tariq, but Tariq is being super disrespectful. I don't know why he's doing this, but he thinks it's funny. The man is correct. You can literally look up these pictures and see that he's right. If you look at New York City's pictures in the 1900s, it's majority white. So Tariq is playing, he's on the internet playing, and he's a grown man. He's a grown man doing this. Fine, he can be playing like that, but look at the people that believe in what he's saying. And the man is like, okay, maybe people coming together, that's what would bring back respect. That's what the Italian man is telling him. He wants to rewrite history by insulting other people. That's what he's doing.
You know, you got to come in numbers. And if I'm just me right now. This is what you do for a living. I'm just up late on whatever night it is. You know what I mean? Let me start getting all the Italian Americans. The American government never spent more money than to lock up Italian Americans. Not black people, Italian Americans. They spent $200 million to dismantle the mafia. So don't start talking to me.
Kenyan by marriage said, thank you for the $5 super chat. Freedomus, he's doing this because he knows he cannot counter the guy's argument. Yep. So the man, who do we know to be the mafia that the United States spends so much money to dismantle? It's the Italian mafia. The man is correct. But let's hear what Tariq is going to say
About what goes on.
Then why should they have not dismantled organized crime, sir?
So now he's going to say, why? So now the man speaks truth, right? To prove that, hey, we've been taken down by the US government. They spend so much money taking us down. So now he's going to say, okay, why shouldn't they take down crime? Let's see if Tariq is a hypocrite or he really believes the things that he's saying.
Why are you fighting for criminals that are black to not go to jail?
What criminals have I fought for, sir?
So you're okay with black criminals going to jail?
Sir, your racist trolling is running out.
I'm not.
Do you guys see? Tariq set himself up, right? Tariq set himself up. The man asked him a direct question. Are you okay with black criminals going to jail? He refuses to answer the question. So think about, Tariq said he's heading a culture, leader of a culture who cannot say, no, I don't want to support criminals. Why can't Tariq say this directly? Is he purposely brainwashing black people to make them believe that criminality is in fact okay? But he caught himself. But he's not going to answer. He accuses the man of being racist. Remember, he was strong. Now the victimhood is going to come in.
Not trolling at all. Don't try to turn me into a troll. Everything I'm saying is
now your racist white supremacist trolling is coming all the way out because you failed. You come from a failed culture in Italy. Y'all were failing in Italy. You came over here to the country foundational Black Americans built it. You're talking about some dam you built New York, and the ruins of Rome are still over there in Rome. Y'all didn't even clean Rome up. It's still in ruins. Why don't you fix the ruins of Rome?
You know, it's funny how you think one thing is like there's so many different pieces of everything.
Yeah, there's pieces of rubble all on the ground in Italy. I've been all over Italy. Y'all don't even fix the Tower of Pisa. Y'all didn't even fix.
Guys, you're hearing plantation talk. No, seriously, let me explain how the plantation used to work. Go and read Frederick Douglass's book. He would explain the plantation. Back in the day, sometimes there are some of the slaves who would drive, the buggy for their masters, right? They would go to other plantations. So those slaves tend to be more exposed. They tend to go, they're free to go to different plantations. And they bring the news to the other slaves. They look up to them. And for the most part, even when they ride in the buggy, even though they wait outside, they don't know what's going on inside. But the slaves who couldn't go to those plantations, they don't see it. So if you read in Frederick Douglass's book, he talks about where things like that, where some of the slaves, they would wait until they would live vicariously through like the buggy driver. They would ride the whole, like the horse buggy for the master. So most of these people are living vicariously through Tariq. It's like they see Tariq as the big dog. So he is bringing plantation talk to them. That's what you're hearing. The man don't believe it himself. But somehow he thinks it's funny he's doing it. And I'm sure Tariq read that book himself. He did.
It's that shit. It's still leaning.
Very funny.
You
Very
talking
funny.
about you done built something.
Dude, why? Let me ask you a question. Why did
You ain't asked me nothing? You talking about what you done built? Let me tell you something. Not only was it foundational Black Americans saving you, even before foundational Black Americans, you're Italian. It was the Moors who saved you too. It was the Black Moors who came over there and got you out of squalor. You about to die over there, y'all.
So he's all over the place. Okay. Did you guys see why I told you to remember why Tariq, when he said they are from America? Remember why I told you to remember that? So you see, a liar will always talk themselves, they would talk themselves into what you need to know. He said they're from America, but the Moors, if the Moors are from Africa, why are you taking claim for Africans if you say you are not from Africa? So he's all over the place. All over the place. It's like he's obsessed with talking about Italy. Let's see, Christopher Kane said, Italy is not a failed culture. The culture that built the country and produced many significant biology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy. Exactly. But Tariq, like I said, it's like he's deliberately misleading, his people, as he calls them.
Over there, disease ridden. Y'all had the Black Plague, the Justinian Plague. There were dozens of plagues hitting over there. It was the Black Moors who came over there bringing alcohol and chemicals and things over there to clean that place up. So you doubly owe Black people a thank you.
How far are you going to go back to try
all
to
the way
make
back?
a point? I mean, come on.
All the way back. You owe
let's get a little more relevant. Let's talk about
You owe foundational Black Americans, and you owe the Moors for saving you, because y'all were dying off over there, especially Italy. Y'all were dying the hell off.
So he's speaking separate again, the Moors and foundational Black American, meaning his group that he formed. Let's continue hearing Mr. FBA himself.
Okay, I think it's pretty obvious that the rappers are mostly the most influential Black Americans, and they wear all Gucci and Italian designers. They took the word yo from Italians. They took the whole gangster image that Italians made cool. So it's like, let's talk about what's happening right now.
Okay, let's talk about what's happening.
Let's talk about how
You see how Tariq ignores the truth? So, Black people like to talk about cultural appropriation. The whole rap look, everything is called, they appropriated it from Italians. The dress, everything is from Italians. The lingo. So literally he's trying to steal other people's culture to make it, their own. This is literally happening.
Continue to be influenced by.
Nobody's influenced by you. The only gangster that you have is that you're connected with law enforcement because of your whiteness.
Yes, his whiteness. They were not trying to take those mafias down because their skin is white. That's why they are not hiding. This is the type of things he says. Excuses, moving the goalpost. It's crazy.
So you're not gangster. You've never been gangster. All the whole tough guy, yo, paisan talk. The only thing you had, the only advantage was your proximity to whiteness, your ability to be protected by your whiteness, which is a form of welfare. Whiteness and white supremacy is welfare for white people.
So, have you guys noticed the obsession with white people to say the white supremacy? Look, It's crazy. Like, man, you have no idea how obsessed these FBA people are with white people. Everything is white people's fault. Every conversation is white people this. I've even heard some they say, oh, I don't eat white people food. White people don't salt their food. Every time you look on the internet, who do you see complain saying they're getting kicked out of white people restaurant? Who? So it's what they call racist. They are the ones doing that. They would use blanket statement. So all white people can cook. Chipotle is founded by white people. KFC, the old man. Black people talk about they're the best fryers. KFC by white people. Most of the good, tasty restaurant, black people's favorite restaurant, McDonald's. Guess who came up with it? White people. We're seeing this. But Tariq wants to embarrass black people and speaking in their name. No, but he's not just black. He's foundational. You could go to every major city here. You would see Italian influence. But now Italians didn't do anything. He's going to steal Italian culture, which is what is happening. I heard T.I., the rapper, one time said, oh, they're culturally appropriating our dress. He said the way they dress. I'm like, the brand he was wearing was Gucci. But white people are copying them. The person that designed it and made it, the last name is a white person. But the man had the nerve to say they copied them. Literally. Oh, the white people are copying us wearing Nikes. Oh, they're copying us wearing Adidas. Because Mr. Adidas himself was as black as the ace of spades. This is crazy.
That's what you benefited for. Now,
White
either
supremacists hate Italians. I don't know what you're talking about. They hate Italians. They hate Catholics. They hate Jews.
Stop it.
What are you talking about?
Italians are not some other group. You're a white.
Yes, they are.
No,
they were turned white.
Guys, you see what's going on here? The projections, like when black people go say, oh, you're disrespecting us. Because they go around disrespecting everyone. You see how he's downplaying the man's identity? It's like he said, no, you guys are not a different group. It's like, no, stop it, you are. No, but they are a different group. Like they are literally a different group. But imagine if you talk about slavery and the man's like, oh, stop it, you've never been a slave. Oh, you're racist, you're talking about my people. No, but I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you directly.
White, and there's still plenty of black people I know that consider Italians black.
Stop it.
So, you never heard that too?
You play the denial of whiteness game. When it's very convenient, y'all try to play this denial of whiteness. I'm not white, I'm Italian. I'm not white, I'm Spanish. I'm not white, I'm Irish. So y'all try to play this 3-card Monte game. When it's convenient, it's called temporary denial of whiteness. I talk about that.
So he's trying to put himself as the moral authority. So what if the man is white? What issue do you have with somebody's race? What? Like this is literal, this is obsession. Oh, you deny being white. What? So what if he's white? And Kevin T, thank you for your super chat. He said, hashtag FBA, the people as a group vigorously fighting against systems of white supremacy that dominate on planet. Well, thank you. Keep up the good fight. Let us know if there's any contribution we can make to help you in the fight against white supremacy all over the planet. Thank you, Kevin.
In my book, that's an old white supremacist trick. Oh, I'm not white. I couldn't possibly be a white supremacist. Man, I'm Cherokee. Are you mixed with Cherokee too, buddy?
I didn't say I wasn't white. What
Did you guys see what he's doing?
I'm saying is there's a difference between people that became white and white supremacists. And the white supremacists don't like Catholics. They don't like Italians. They don't like Jews. They don't like Jews more than they don't.
And every single one of you who have differences don't like black people. That's the commonality that you all have. So
the victimhood is coming. Did you guys remember what I said yesterday? Who do you see sitting there talking about, oh, that group don't like us. That group don't like us. Oh, okay. So you're going to come and display this type of behavior and the people are going to like you. Like, get over yourselves. KBM, thank you for the super chat. Anyone in around the world wearing Nike is representing Oregon Ducks from the University of Oregon. Profiting anyone. Do research. Okay.
I don't give a damn what type of differences you have among family. All of you get on code against black people. So that's my concern. So you all white enough. I don't give a damn what level of whiteness you are. Y'all all get together and get on the same anti-black page. So
you guys see it, it's coming. Going into the victimhood mode. Yeah, they all come together against us. They don't like us. They don't like us. You built all this. You're saying all this stuff. Now, all of a sudden, you're a victim again. You're a victim again. This is crazy.
that's the problem that I have, sir. Are you here, Mr. Scarface?
I'm here. As soon as I'm unmuted, I'll speak.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, dude, I could make a documentary about how Italian Americans had helped Black Americans. You had Sinatra and Dean Martin that opened up doors for entertainment. You have the Jews that opened up all kind of doors for Black platforms. The father of the jazz guitar is an Italian guy who used to play with Lonnie Johnson in the 1920s. There's so many stories I could get into with you, but we don't have time.
So the Italians found all these things. They still continue to display, but they don't have a culture, according to Mr. Tariq. What the man is saying is all factually true. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just the person's ego not accepting, because, you know, you have to come and insult other people, downgrade what they did to make yourself feel good. And then at the same time, you want them to see you as a victim. Amazing.
Time to get into all that, and I haven't really prepared for all that.
Foundational Black Americans created every single music genre over here, dude. Stop it. Just stop it.
There was no music, is what you're trying to tell me, before America, right? There was no classical music. There was no drums that go all the way back to China.
The drums, the modern drums that people use now, the sit-down drums, that was created by foundational Black Americans.
Guys, the drum was created by a foundational Black American. Look, are you guys really listening to what you're hearing? Like, this guy, they invented everything. Literally. I know, it's he's become a joke to you, but literally, you see where the talking points are coming from? They invented the drum. There was nothing on earth before foundational Black American showed up.
Goes back to China.
The sit-down drum, sir.
There's a whole, but percussion. It's all about percussion,
sir. There were drums in Africa that go back millions of years, sir.
So then, how come they're not making the music in Africa? Why'd they have to do it here?
They are making music in Africa.
They didn't make the blues and jazz in Africa. They did it in America with
Because
white people. With white people, with Jews and Italians.
Oh, we're foundational Black Americans. We made the music. Foundational Black Americans, sir. We made that. Well, Italians didn't make no damn blues.
The blues is white people music. The man is correct. You know, they have black people playing with them. They're playing European music. What is he talking about?
R&B and none of that stuff.
See, he admitted that they're from Africa without even knowing it. Without even knowing it.
Foundational Black Americans made that, sir.
They did, but they did it here in America with other white people.
Sir, this is a country we built. This is our country, sir. This is a foundational Black American country. This is our homeland, sir. This is not your homeland. You're an immigrant. I'm not.
He is trolling. Okay? He is trolling.
No, you migrated to the cities. You're not from the cities. You were never from the cities. You followed the lanes that
we founded many of the cities in this country, sir. Los Angeles was founded by Black people. Buffalo was founded by Black people. Chicago was founded by a Black person. We settled many of these cities.
Watch the Italian man respond here in a second.
Sir, you don't know history.
Chicago is a Haitian guy. I thought Haitians were immigrants.
Did you guys see that uppercut from the Italian man? Yes. So now he's saying it was found by a Black man, right? Of FBA, but the man is from Haiti. So it means terrorists founded that city. So let's hear what Tariq is going to say now, finding out the man is Haitian.
That brother was one of our riders.
So he is one of their riders. So they're going to claim him. Do you see how juvenile this is?
Still Black.
Okay, so but he was an immigrant, wasn't he?
He's still Black.
He was an immigrant guy.
He's Black.
He was let me tell you something. Immigrants make the flavor in this country.
You couldn't make the flavor in.
The man is Haitian. You see what he's doing? He's like, oh, he's Black, but he's an immigrant. So when it's convenient, he's the same as the Haitians, Africans, and all. When it's not convenient, they are terrorists. They are separate from us. But they're just the riders. So it's like flip-flopping, back and forth. You can't take it serious. I thought they hated immigrants. But you're citing a Black immigrants' achievement.
Italy, dude. If you make the flavor in the country, why didn't you make the flavor in Italy? Why are y'all sitting over there struggling in Italy right now, sir?
I don't know who you think's struggling.
So Italy and Italians are just struggling. Did you guys hear this man? Okay.
The strongest mafias in the world are all Southern Italy. Calabria, Naples, and Sicily have the strongest mafias in the world.
So you have to hang your hat on criminality. That's the problem right there. If your claim to fame is being an organized criminal, that shows how degenerate your mindset is, and you're not qualified to maintain a civilized society, sir. That's why you had to flee and come over here among the foundational Black Americans, who are the moral compass of this country, sir.
Did you see what Tariq is doing there? So foundational Black Americans are the moral compass of this United States, and the Italians are just criminals. You see, whenever the guy hit him with facts, he tries to, dirty him up to make it seem like they're all criminals. But this is the criminal, the mafia. That's what most urban Blacks look up to. That's what they display on camera. That's what they want to be. That's who they look up to.
No, we had to flee from oppression, from dictators.
Oh,
that's what we had to flee from.
Sound like them Nigerians. It's the government.
So he has to bring Nigerians into it. I knew the conversation will not end without African immigrant being brought into it.
Government, nigga, the government.
Listen, Black Americans fled too. They fled the South, Tariq. Stop.
So some of you Africans that go on these shows trying to explain about the government, this is how it is. So you're mocking people telling you what their plight is. But so when you talk about crack, or police brutality and all, who is doing that? Isn't that the government? So you're mocking your own people because you can turn on the internet. What are Black people today known for online? For the most part, who complains about the government? Who is talking about reparation? So projection. So the man is telling him real history and he's laughing at it. Laughing.
Stop lying to yourself. You fled the South
Stop it.
because you were getting fucking ran over, guy.
Fled the
You
South.
couldn't fucking survive over there.
Dude, this is still our country. What do you mean we fled the South? And let's be very clear. There were Black people getting lynched in the North too. Yeah, we were getting lynched. We were getting lynched, dude. They were murdering us within
the victimhood a lot.
impunity. So yeah, we're gonna go to the next place so we don't get killed, and we're less than 12% of the population at the time. We're getting killed. People were waging warfare on foundational Black Americans, but we still said, hey, we're gonna still fight back in many cases, which we did. We still chose to fight back. We didn't leave the country. You talking like the South is a different country. This is still a country we pay taxes in, buddy. We didn't immigrate nowhere. Talking about fleeing the South, that's not immigrating to another place.
This is interesting. Personal email said, thank you for your $5 super chat. Italians who make the Lamborghini are struggling, according to Tariq. Yes, he's literally saying this. So, he can only say this to a Black audience. Those are the only people that are going to believe this. Yeah, Italians are struggling, according to him. This is wild.
We're still in the same landmass where our taxes are circulating. You got y'all asses up out of Italy and bounced and left that shit behind and came on over here eating off us.
We started coming here in the 1880s, so it was right after slavery was over, and the cities weren't even built yet.
Yeah, dude, y'all was still classified as Sicilians because Italy didn't even become a nation.
So he's all over the place. Like, how when they're talking with you as African, they would say crazy things like, oh, that country was named by white people. Okay, if it's named by a purple, green, white, who cares? Like, literally, we don't care. Let's focus on the topic here. It's like ADHD all over the place. Like, come on. Like, who cares who named it? This is what we know it to be. But you're obsessed with white people. So anything you have to say, oh, the white person did that. Everything is white, white, white. The Italians started coming here, like you said, in the 1880s. The cities weren't built, which is true. So what is Tariq talking about?
State until around that time too. So dude, you new booty, as we say. You one of these brand new niggas.
Oh God, please. Like I said, you came to our cities that we built and that we paved ways for you.
Dude,
that's a fact.
How is an immigrant gonna claim a city in a country that
that's what happened. Who created who?
We've been in these cities. We were already in these cities, dude. You trying to rewrite history. We were already, what city weren't we in? We were in New York. What are you talking about?
So there's no such thing as the Great Migration,
we were in New York.
What's the Great Migration?
It's a Chef Boyardee dish. So we were already
I know.
We were in.
So you see, he's not going to answer. He's going to start playing around, and the man is asking him real questions.
Chicago.
I mean, dude, if you want to ignore facts, then
No,
like I said, I think you're an
you're
interesting
babbling.
guy, and you have a great way.
You're babbling. Stop it. And stop with the tough guy. I hate when a lot of y'all be trying to act like that. Yo, it's tough. Yeah, man, your whiteness protects you. You guys are weenies. You're a goddamn weenie. Your whiteness protects you. You fall into the system of white supremacy. You're not fucking tough. Black people, foundational Black Americans, we're tough because we have to go against the militarized government. That's tough. We're less than 12% of the population, and we don't have the cloak of whiteness to help us out. When we feel injustice, we don't get on a boat with $3 and flee like bitches. We stand here and stand strong and fight against oppression. And you could never be that.
You fled you're
So, Tariq, he said they fought, militarized the U.S. government. I wanted you guys to hear this from the guy's own mouth. Did you guys see what he did there? He just tried to turn it into drama, saying you want to be a tough guy. Did you guys see the instigation? You guys are literally watching ignorance being displayed. This is why I want to break these videos down, because for especially most Africans and other people, don't get caught up in this. Don't get caught up in this. This is dangerous. This is ignorance at best. Militarize. That's right, Stoic One, militarize. They fought the US government, the military. This is wild.
ran away from the South.
Stop with that. Stop. And then why are there so many Black people in the South still? There's plenty of Black people in the South.
Yeah, I know, but there was a
So by that logic, like he said, oh, Africans, you guys fled from Africa. There's over 1 billion people in Africa. In the United States, there's less than 4 million Africans. So in that case, it's very few Africans that left. So you can't call it fled. They fled if a whole bunch of Africans are still in Africa.
great migration, and they ran away from it. And when we talk about fighting the government, nobody...
Stop all that. Black people are still in the South, and there were Black people who never left.
There are a bunch of Africans that never left. But did that ever stop you from saying Africans fled? No, it never stopped you.
You acting like Black people just bounced away from the South. There's some who went to the North because this is our country. And many Black people and most Black people stayed in the South. They didn't run. If we want to talk about fleeing, we stayed in the South. So what you talking about?
Well, yeah, because it's not as bad as you make it out to be. That's why. So, but the reality is that, listen,
but
if white people didn't form this nation, if we get taken over by China tomorrow or the Middle East, nobody gives a fuck about what you're saying right now, bro. So you should be fucking worshiping white people right now, because we're actually listening to you and fucking, making things happen for Black people.
The man is correct. The man is correct. Name any other place where people were enslaved, who were given so much voice by white people, like the Black American. Name any other place. Name any other place. It's only America. That's it. So the man is right. Thank the white people. Thank the white people. I mean, the places that you call ghettos or the projects, who built those? It was white people that built it, put Black people there. It turned into ghettos. The neighborhoods, the cities, they built all that. But there's still the internet, and they still have to sit here and hear you try to rewrite history talking about, we built this. So the man is correct. If China takes over another country, it's over. You think they're going to listen to that crap? So they're not going to. They don't care. They don't want to hear you. I mean, you see already in those countries how they run that place. It's no joke. It's no joke.
Let fucking China take over. You think they're gonna give a fuck what you have to say right now? Dude, foundational black, they don't give a fuck.
But if it weren't for us building the nation for free, you would be in Europe somewhere with head lice eating potatoes.
So Europeans are in Europe backwards, the Italians with head lice and, eating potatoes. This is what this man is literally saying to people. A man he's talking about a first world country. Literally, that's what he's doing here. So you can't take this man seriously.
Like I said, you want to make a comedy show, make a comedy show. The reality is that
Talking
Italian
real.
Americans.
Let's talk real. I'm talking real. If it weren't for us, you would still be over there in Italy somewhere cannibalizing each other, which is what they were doing here. Let's be clear. They were over here cannibalizing each other. Your ancestors, they were coming over here when they start starving, they just started eating each other. That happened in Virginia, North Carolina, down in Florida when they tried to set up a colony down there. They didn't know how to create an agrarian society on their own. So they looked at the next guy and said, hey, nigga, you look tasty. Even when they went out west, sir, we know about the Dharma Party and all those people, whatever the name is, the Dharma Party. But when
he takes one incident and conflates it. The Donner Party were the people who were crossing, across, like when it's in Manifest Destiny, moving, they were going towards Utah, and they got caught up in a blizzard. These people, eventually, they ran out of food. They were stuck to a point they started, some people started eating each other. So he is conflating that to make it seem like white people just eat each other. Not that it was just a party of people, human beings. He is going to try to conflate this way. But these people that talk this way, they say, oh, you're disrespecting me. When you're disrespecting people's culture, a group of people. And it's normal. It's normal to him. It's normal to people like him. But then same people say, oh, other people don't like us, even though they didn't say this, right? But they know deep down this behavior, this rudeness, acting this way, nobody's going to like it. So therefore, they just say, you don't like me because I'm black. It's not that you have attitude, you're ignorant, you're rude, obnoxious, narcissistic. They ignore all that and just say, oh, you don't like me because I'm black. So this is your brain being fried right now. But forgive me for doing it to you. It's a learning process.
they were going west, they were getting stuck out there and saying, hey, well, shit, there's no food, but you look like a snack. Well, oh, thank you. No, bitch, you look like a real snack. And they started eating each other. That's your history, sir.
I mean, look, Tariq, I respect your hustle, like I said. So, but that
I'm
story has
talking
no
history.
relevance to what we're talking about right
We're
now.
talking history because you're
But
talking
you're
about
deflecting.
you're talking about what we should be thankful to you, and when we're not around, y'all start cannibalizing each other.
See, Tariq. Did you guys catch that? Tariq is laughing. Tariq just laughed. He's deflecting. The man caught him doing comedy. Look, if the man wants to do comedy, fine. But don't try to do this at other people's expense, pretending you're doing a real conversation. When there are people that watch you who truly think that what you're saying is in fact true. Did you guys hear him laugh? To him, it's a joke.
And we should be thankful. When black folks aren't around, y'all get all types of diseases over there in Europe and start falling out, and your arms and asses is falling off. And
He doesn't believe this. That's why he's laughing.
we got to be thankful to you? Really?
What I just said was that it was white people that started this country, that started this whole process. So if we get taken over by China tomorrow or any other country, nobody gives a fuck about what you're saying. It's this country that allows you to say what you're saying because we fight for you. We
No,
go to war against
we-
other countries. We fight for this. You
so,
keep talking about white supremacy like it's not as something that it's not what it is. You're
okay,
talking about white people. You
okay.
say, "Oh, because I see people."
Wait, stop your goddamn babbling.
Guys, those of you that like to call into these shows, you're seeing what will happen. You see how he would mute you, he would just spin things around, just to, I don't know why he's doing it, but I think we know. Um, but for the sake of your sanity, do not call someone like him.
Is there white supremacy or not? Because your white forefathers said there was white supremacy. Why did they say that?
Yes, the KKK organization.
And no, Thomas Jefferson, the people in the Confederate, it wasn't the KKK. It was the top white people, the Andrew Jacksons. These people were using terms like white supremacy, even in the.
So he's talking about dead presidents, about era that none of us lived. That era no longer exists. But another deflection, because he has to keep his followers thinking they still live in that era. Like, think about it. Like, you're talking about Thomas Jefferson. Okay. Like, they say he owned slave. So what? Everyone owned slave back then, including some of the black slave owners. That's what they used to do back then. It was legal. So you can try to shame them. We cannot change that. It's already happened. It's already happened. We look back to it as history so we don't repeat it, but it's already happened. But you think telling this man, like they would say, oh, telling a white person Thomas Jefferson owned slave, like you're shaming that white person. So it's like saying to a Ugandan that they killed people because Idi Amin, when he was in charge, he killed people. So therefore, that Ugandan also is a killer because of Idi Amin. You see, what if we use the same idea about all the black killers in America and attribute it to another black person just because they say they're FBA? Because I've met many of those killers in prison. There's tons of them, a lot of them. So he's not making sense at all.
The Taney Supreme Court decision, they were using terms like white supremacy, black inferiority in documents. Why did they use those terms? These are not some fringe groups. We're talking about leaders here and documents in the Supreme Court. Why did they use the term white supremacy then?
Because at that moment in time, which was hundreds of years ago, that was the perception at that
Oh,
particular time. The same
so
way that you think you're superior now to
so
African immigrants.
so when you're not going to troll.
Did you guys see what the man said there? Did you hear what the man said? He said, just like you think you're superior to African immigrants. And the man is correct. When the man speaks, isn't that what he shows? He thinks they are superior to Africans. But he's gonna ignore it and say, oh, you're just trolling. But he called him out.
So when did they stop practicing white supremacy? What year, sir?
First of all, there was plenty of founding fathers that were not only against slavery, but they didn't own any slaves.
Stop. I said white supremacy. Abraham Lincoln didn't own slaves, but he believed in the supremacy of the white race.
So if Abraham Lincoln believed in the superiority of white race, if you're not white, why do you care? What, he should not believe that he he is superior or like he's better? Come on, deep down, people with ego, especially he himself, he displays this every day. Wasn't he trying to make the Italian man feel less than? He tried to make white people feel less than. They invented everything. Talk about a hypocrite. This is a scam. You guys realize this, right? It's called emotional scam. He's emotionally manipulating the people following him, using their ignorance against them. That's what he's doing.
When did they stop practicing white supremacy?
Do you believe in just the concept?
I asked your silly ass a question, and I want you to answer, and I'm not going to allow you to deflect. What year? Because you've acknowledged that white supremacy was established. So I'm going to ask you, what year did they stop practicing white supremacy systematically in this country? Let's try it again, sir.
Well,
One
you're
more time.
mixing and matching all these different things. You tell me, because I need you to clarify your point. You tell me who said this term, white supremacy, and who said black inferiority. Who said that?
Sir,
No, you said something. Let's get specific. Who said it?
Thomas Jefferson has a book called Letters.
Okay, guess what? Not everybody
Okay.
agreed with Thomas.
Guys, do you see how silly Tariq is? So imagine just meeting a random white person. You're both, Tariq is American, the man is American. He is trying to shame a man who's from a background that immigrated here, who he was ridiculing a few minutes ago, to tie him to a dead US president. This is how sick Tariq have become, just to make black people feel way less than. So an ordinary white person, according to him, he wants to hold him accountable for Thomas Jefferson. Let that sink in for a minute.
Jefferson.
Okay.
Okay?
So,
That's what makes this country unique.
but
Other white people fought.
they did agree with him because they elected him president, and they still worship him, and he's still on currency to this day. So they do accept him. What are you talking about?
But why do you have a problem with that? He's one of the founding fathers of this nation. Why are you even asking this man that question? How would he know? How would he know? But if you see him as superior to you, and you want other black people to continue thinking this boogeyman white supremacy exists, it's white people. It's ordinary white person with their problem, their personal problem, just like you. I thought a minute ago you said this man, they fled their country, he's Italian. Why are you holding an Italian accountable for what Thomas Jefferson said or thought about hundreds of years ago? Pretty silly.
I said that there were other Americans at the time. He was a president for however long he was president, then he was gone. There were other ideas that came after him. And there was also, he's a complicated person. There's also things that he did that were valuable to you.
Abraham Lincoln, sir, said he believed the supremacy of the white race. If you want to Google that right now, you can look that up now.
Okay. Even if he believed that, what does that have to do with this man? You realize he's using dead people, dead presidents, and holding ordinary people accountable. Whatever part of Abraham Lincoln's ideology he disagrees with, we no longer live in that era. The man was so extreme, somehow he freed black people from slavery. Remember, he emancipated black people. But Tariq somehow wants to tell us he believed white supremacy. Okay, if he's believing white supremacy, let him to free the slaves. Shouldn't you be thanking the man instead of trying to dig to try to make the man to paint him with something just to feel good, to massage those who embrace victimhood? Hey, if you freedom, you disagree with Abraham Lincoln freeing the slaves, become a slave. Simple as that. No one's going to argue against that. It's just simple as that. But many of the people that follow him are mentally enslaved.
The Supreme Court decision, Taney versus Dred Scott, or the Judge Taney, the Dred Scott decision. You can look that up now and find out what they said about white supremacy and black inferiority. This is a document that's on record.
Right. But the Italian immigrants and the Jewish immigrants and the Irish immigrants that were treated like shit helped to fight for you. And that's what helped the movement begin.
You've never fought for.
He blocked him. Go look at all the organizations, even in the 60s, that are popular, that even Martin Luther King, who funded it and who headed it. You will see they are not quote unquote FBA. FBA was just the mouthpiece and the foot soldiers, that's it.
For foundational Black Americans. The only thing Italians did for foundational Black Americans was put drugs in our community and take the numbers racket from the Black people who created it.
They did not take the numbers racket. That's ridiculous. There was
Yes, they
prohibition
did.
in 1920. The blacks were barely in the cities at that
Yes,
time.
they did.
They came to the cities.
They got the numbers racket from Black people. This is very well documented. They got the numbers racket from Black people. Black people were doing the numbers racket, and the Italians got that from Black people. Look up the Jones brothers. Please understand history, sir. This is why you need to learn. If you don't
We're not
know,
talking about a numbers game.
and you know that, and without that system,
No, again, you have all your facts wrong because you're in a.
This is crazy. I'm going to start bringing people in. Think before you type. Thank you for calling into the show. What do you want to add to this conversation?
All right. Yeah, you can hear me now, right?
Loud and clear.
Man, this is really funny, man, and sad at the same time. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the way he is fooling the average Black American, that doesn't know about, what's really going on and all this stuff, is you could tell this guy, Tariq, he's just using people to get clout, to scam them, and then later on, he's gonna abandon the FBA title, create a new one, you know what I mean, and just go out and just repeat and rewash, you know what I mean?
But can you blame the man for, or the people who are dumb enough to buy into all this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see the hustle he's trying to, pull, you know what I mean? But he himself, just take a look at the way he acts around African people, right? He's more disrespectful to the African people when and other, people of color compared to this guy who is also like Southern white, right?
Right.
And then notice how his tone and his the way he talks to people, right? As the more white they become, the more he bows down to them. You know what I mean? So
that's pretty common. Yes.
yeah. So as soon as he gets in front of Tucker Carlson, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and all these other ones, his lips start quivering, he starts shaking, you know what I mean? And he you could tell like the true cowardice, it comes
he's
out.
like many. He's obsessed with the word white supremacy. He's like, really? You're gonna beat a dead horse? Really?
I mean, and that tells you he's like I said before, and we talked about this thing a couple of weeks ago. These people, they're suffering from trauma. In all honesty, they
Mm-hmm.
are severely, Stockholm syndrome into another level where they are now will try to claim any identity but their own. You know what I mean? They'll claim ancient Egyptian history or identity, Hotep. They'll claim the Hebrew Israelites and all this stuff. They'll claim Native Americans. You know what I mean? Because he'll call himself foundational Black American,
Or
right?
more.
Or and then more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I actually noticed that before he was about to say when he was about to say more, he was about to say foundational Black
Black.
Americans.
Yes,
I
yes.
swear, I
He
picked
caught
that up.
himself. He caught
Yeah,
himself. Yes.
I was laughing and I
Mhm.
was like, I don't even watch this guy anymore. And honestly, I don't want to give him no clout. But I was laughing so hard because I knew the game he's playing, the you know what I mean, the
Mhm.
stupidity mindset he's trying to pull. But notice how they call himself and these the idiots that follow him. They call themselves
Well,
foundational Black Americans,
America.
right?
Well, hold that thought. I have one here. Let me bring him.
Go ahead.
Reyes, thank you for calling in. What do you want to add to this conversation here today?
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, Reyes, do you consider yourself FBA,
What is an FBA?
Tariq's organization,
Okay,
Foundational
man.
Black American?
I'm
What is
glad
a
he
fa-
doesn't have that disease. Yeah.
what is a foundational black man? Excuse me, I just ate a lobster omelet and I'm drinking my juice.
Okay, well, since you don't subscribe, but okay, go ahead. Tell us why you called in. What's on
Why I
your
called
mind?
them? Because I love you, man. I realized after listening back to our last engagement or our last exchange, excuse me, I love you, brother. We
Thank
all
you.
love you. When
Thank
you
you.
guys when you guys first came here, I was one of the dudes who protected you. From your kind and my kind. I was a dude who will bodyguard you because sometimes I will meet the ones who came here real young, and sometimes the fellow Africans who came after them will
Mhm.
mistreat them. And the same goes for Caribbeans.
Oh,
So,
that's what
so
you
I
used to
love you.
do. That's really good. When I
Yeah,
came here, I did not need any
yeah,
protection, but
yeah, yeah. Because
that's
you bench
noble of you.
you bench like 210, right?
What?
You bench like 210, right?
Look,
210 pounds.
I see. Do you because this is the second time you mentioned my muscles. Are you intimidated by my muscles, or you would like
No,
like you
actually,
admire?
Actually, I can lift more than you. That's my point. I know you don't need protection because you're strong. That's what
But
I'm
somehow
getting at.
you feel of this is my thing is you
I
called
know that.
here. This
Yeah,
show today, the show is not about how much Afrodamus lifts or my
you.
muscles. Last time you said,
Mhm,
wait, we have a different topic. You said
mhm.
you mentioned my muscles. You say you think your muscles are big. I don't think anything of my muscles. If you are very distracted and intimidated by them, you don't need to.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
you, man. I love you. But can I tell you the connection between that point and what you said about not needing protection? I know you don't need my protection because you're well enough, you're strong enough to defend yourself. So that's why I mentioned that. And
But
sometimes,
Reyes, me
hold on,
as a
hold on.
man, wait,
Yes, yes,
Reyes,
yes, 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 yes.
do you know why would me as a man,
Yeah.
right, need another man's protection? Like why?
Why would you need it? Because everybody needs a friend. No man's an island. And when I would
So
see
you need a friend?
no man is an island.
No,
I,
I mean you. Do you need a friend, Reyes?
yeah, can you give me a hug? I need
Well,
can you be my friend? Please?
well,
Please,
I
buddy
am.
old pal. I
That's why
love
you.
you.
That's why you are able to call here. You are a friend of the show.
Yeah, because this is a great show. I love your broadcast. You're misinforming all the Africans on the continent and the country, and it's working like a charm. But of course, the
This guy
smart
is a
ones see
hypocrite.
through it. Yeah,
So
yeah.
Reyes,
Yeah,
Reyes,
yeah, I'm a hypocrite, I guess. I don't know,
Reyes,
but I love
No,
you. And I
hold
love
on.
what?
you too. What's your
Try
name?
try to make the case.
Reyes,
Tandiwe? Is your name Tandiwe? What? No.
I have
Reyes,
no
stick
idea what
with
you're
the
talking about.
topic. Stick
Yeah,
with the
just
topic.
yeah.
You you
Do you
you
agree or
you.
disagree? That's it.
Yeah,
Do,
stick
what?
with the topic.
Okay. Agree or disagree with what particularly?
The
You know
FBA, the FBA mindset.
What is the FBA mindset? You guys haven't
Okay,
asked me a
Reyes.
question.
Okay, I'm gonna put you
Oh, you gonna put me backstage? You can't challenge.
backstage
You can't give
because
it a challenge.
because
You
because
don't even
you're
know what's FBA, man.
Okay, I'll
That's
deal with you. I'll deal with you on the square. Okay, I'll deal with you on the square. You know what that means, right? Because I know you guys came here from organizations. Here we go. I know what FBA is. Do I condone Tariq's actions and the way he comes across? No, I don't. I know. Is it funny sometimes? Yeah, but it doesn't last. I get it. It's very childish. It's very juvenile. I get it. But when you engage your type, there's no other way to deal with you besides joke with you and make you look silly. Because you don't deal on the square. So why deal on the square at all? Why not say you smell like cheetah pee and keep it moving and make you mad and make you call up and
So hold on,
expose your
that's
own
but
hatred?
listen, if we say the same thing about you, right? Like you smell like pig feet or chitlins or you
Oh,
eat
that's how.
leftovers.
No, that's good. Hold on. Yo, you got a sound effect. You got a sound effect. Afrodamus, clap for that. That was a good one. But go ahead.
Listen, but you get the point, right? If we use the same talking points against you, right? You're gonna start calling us racist. You're gonna call anybody a racist. You know, I heard so many times like Black Americans, especially Tariq, right?
in Reyes's case, he would call me a bully. He's called me a bully before. This man has I don't know, even though I'm behind the screen, just
All right.
my screen
Okay,
presence
Let me get
I
to.
never called you a bully. You already asked me.
you
A
did
question.
call
Can I
me that
answer-
before.
Can I,
You
can I
did.
ask you? Can I answer his question? Because you gave it.
No,
You
but I'm gonna
you
finish
gave
this
as
though.
clear as that. But you're gonna just
Yeah,
repeat
so
yourself. I
it's
know
like
what you're gonna do.
you say righteous. You're saying that you know what I mean. Tariq is talking all this stuff, right? Nonsense, and you don't agree with them, right? But what he's doing, what you don't understand, right? Behind the funny jokes, sometimes people tell you the truth, how they really feel. You know, it was sometimes with
Right.
with laughter. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Yeah.
for him, like if you would have said it before and all this stuff, I don't mind. We can roast each other. But if I'm allowed to also call him the same way, tell him that he is the definition of a fleeing, which is a runaway slave, and tell him that hey, you eat pig feet, right? But hold on, you get the
He
point.
said that.
I guarantee you. But hold on, I guarantee you. You're gonna
Hold on.
listen.
Think
He's
before
gonna
you
cry
tell
about
Reyes.
it.
Reyes is derailing us. Let me bring another person's call. This man, this is the second time he came here talking about my muscles. Okay? I don't know what his deal is, but okay.
That's the
Let's
suspect, man.
yeah. Objective one. Thank you for calling in. Where you calling from?
This is the objective hater.
Hey, objective
I'm calling from New York.
New York. Thank you for calling. Do you identify as FBA?
No,
All
I'm an
right. What do you
immigrant.
think?
I'm
Oh,
an
okay. Okay, perfect. What do you
uh,
think about what you're seeing? You know, the pattern here, this conversation is doing the same thing to the Italian, even though he tamed it down, he disrespects black immigrants more, but
yeah,
he's showing the Italian the same disrespect. What do you
yeah.
make of what you're seeing?
So he's going around antagonizing different groups, right? Meanwhile, he has a whole white, Caucasian, Jewish mother-in-law at his home that he's feeding from these poor blacks who are
Mm-hmm,
donating to his cause, which is
mm-hmm.
disgusting. He's spewing racial hatred.
Right.
Also, you did a show on Phil. He has a whole Mexican, pale, 300-pound woman at his home. So these guys are not living what they're preaching. They're
They're
preaching.
hypocrites.
They're preaching racial hatred and separation, but meanwhile, they're not even with their people, ADOS women. And also Tariq Nasheed, I believe he has a Mexican brother-in-law. He was the first man at the wedding. I've seen the photos, and it's just
But
hypocrisy.
but
It's
but
double
who do
talk.
you
Yeah,
the people that believe in it, like who do
they're
you
low
blame?
IQ'd individuals. They're low IQ'd. No disrespect. Uh, from low socioeconomic areas of America, and they're looking for a savior. And he is entertaining at times. He does have the gift of gab, the silver tongue. He's good with his words, so they hypnotize those low
Right.
IQ individuals. But people who are intellectual see through his BS, like you, and you've done a great job exposing him. And keep going.
Thank you
Objective
very
hater.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
he made a great point. That was a really great point. And for me, one thing I also noticed is that the people that follow him and Tariq himself and all these ADOS and FBL, they want to make other people feel how they felt all their life. You know what I mean? Which is like you know, they're it's like the victim trying to become the victimizer,
Yes,
you know,
that's the
and
show I
that's
did yesterday.
oh, I wasn't here, but yeah, I was at work, but
You have to watch it. You know,
no, no, I seen it at the end, and actually, an objective header actually brought up a really interesting point. Notice how these FBAs, ADOS, they always talk about. You had what, like Optimus Prime, that cloud that came in last time talking about he got Somali, all this and that, all, woman, right? But notice he claims to be an FBA, but he does not want to be with FBA woman, Black American woman,
oh, you're
or
talking,
these ADOS.
and he's gonna he called in, but he dropped. I hope he calls back in. But
Yeah,
hold on,
but
let's
notice
bring
how they
in
talk. That's what I'm saying.
Stephen too here. Thank you, objective hater. Stephen, welcome to the show. Where you calling from?
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Where you calling from?
Oh, I'm calling from Canada, Hamilton.
Canada. Thank you for calling in. What's on your
All right,
mind?
thank you. Well, I think the two gentlemen that were in before me basically said everything all. It's very funny that Tariq is actually making fun of the Italian person, and even the disrespect that he even gave
Mhm,
the Italian was even different as to compare to how he goes after Caribbean and African immigrants.
mhm,
So it's just like there is this dynamic of power. Like so, respect is never given; it's earned. So
mhm.
even though the Italians have clearly made their mark on American soil as compared to Black Americans, even the disrespect level that he's even giving me is even different because he's not going to come out with full force because he already knows that the entire community will shut his channel down like this.
Exactly.
So
Mhm.
it's just very, very unfortunate. And I'm also Nigerian as well. So
Yeah.
I just
He
recently
likes going
found
after
your channel.
Nigerians. He likes
I
going.
don't really understand this obsession with Nigeria. I mean,
Look,
Nigerians are just everyday.
it's because of this. Hold on. Let me read. Let me read something I came across in a live chat conversation. Right.
Okay.
Someone wrote, because as usual, Black people like to talk about victimhood. And
Mm-hmm.
somebody wrote in this chat section, he said, in my medical school, in my medical school, the population is
Mm-hmm.
around 10% Black. Of
Right.
these, of these, around 90% are African immigrants or second generation. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about race, it's about parenting, culture, and mindset. See,
Absolutely.
You're from Nigeria, and I'm from
Yes.
Gambia, West Africa, same thing. Imagine me telling, my people, I came to America. I'm over here hanging out with the criminals, or I'm giving them excuses about why I am not succeeding in what I'm doing. How do you
That's
think?
just
Huh?
it's preposterous because I think for us as Africans, for the most part, we just come from a place that we've been fortunate enough to be a majority.
Right.
So that mindset is already ingrained from childhood, whereby parents and African parents in general are always teaching their children about self-reliance, self-responsibility, and also financial responsibility for oneself. How to
Right.
stand up for yourself as a man and as a grown woman. So people are not going to buy the excuse of why you can't be successful for where you are that's going on onto that platform. And as you said, parenting also falls into place. African parents also monitor their children's education. As a father, you yourself can understand that kind of dynamic of making sure that your son gets good grades, making sure that your family is put in order, and you're not going to putting yourself in the wrong place, you know.
Right.
And in
You
this
would
kind of
set your kid
society,
up. Yeah. You
and in
set
this
your
kind of
kid up to
society,
succeed.
mhm, and in this kind of society, you're guilty by association. And once you get into jail, ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you.
Nope.
You're more like nobody.
No.
So a
You
lot
are
of
on your
African
own.
parents, you're on your own. So I
Mhm.
think a lot of African parents are doing a good job. And for the fact that some of them actually have the time to actually take their kids to Nigeria or wherever African nations that they go to, and
So
maybe
they
they grow
see.
up there. Mhm. They either grow up there, they do high school there. They once they graduate high school, they come back to America and able to see the dynamics of both how cultures operate, the American culture, the Canadian, the British, and the African culture that they reside in. So it's all about parenting. And
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so I don't really, and it's just unfortunate that these things are happening, but it's just, I don't even know what to even say anymore.
Well, hopefully many wake up. But Stephen, thank you for calling. Don't be a
Thank you
stranger
very
here.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All
Thank you.
right. So we have Reyes back again. Reyes. Okay, what's on your mind?
Hold on.
What did you call me in the chat?
The feedback. Hold on. I want to. There's feedback. What's your question?
What did you call me in the chat?
Called you a coward?
Okay, so
You're gonna put me backstage, right? That's what a coward does. A coward doesn't stand on the square.
so Reyes, are you here for the topic?
I'm here for
Listen,
the topic.
a coward.
Wait, are you here to be in your feelings?
I'm not in my feelings, but I really want to address this white guy. That's all I wanted to do, really.
What white guy?
The
What are you
guy that
talking about?
Tariq is interviewing. The
Okay.
video you have up, man.
Okay,
You gonna tell me go
hurry
back,
up.
coward? Okay,
Hurry up.
here we go.
Hurry up.
I'm gonna hurry up. I'm gonna make it real fast. Look here, that white guy doesn't know New York history. I studied New York history. I grew up in New York. From the time I was a child, I went to private school and they would take me all over the city teaching me New York history. No, the Irish and Italian didn't build New York City. All they did was come here and build skyscrapers, attractions, stuff like that.
Oh,
They did not build up. They did the black people of America built all the cities.
Wait, they
They
built
built
the
the Empire State, but they built the Statue of Liberty, stole it from a black woman because it was originally a black woman. They built the Empire State Building. They built the Chrysler Building. All they did was build attractions. They didn't build the city. Most of these buildings have been here since slavery. Most of them, the foundation was built by Black Americans.
You guys didn't believe that. Some of them bought into it, but there's your brain on drugs.
Oh, now I'm drunk, even though I just woke up and had a lobster omelet. Okay, I got you.
No, I said there's your brain on drugs.
Okay, I got you, man. A silly little joke instead of addressing my point. I'm telling you historical facts. They did not. The white immigrant only built projects for them to live in, and the only thing we took over was.
So who built all those businesses? Bank of America, those huge
Bank of
buildings.
America was started well into the already foundation of America. It's like they didn't build.
What group of people own it?
Italian family opened Bank of America. And
Okay.
Are you gonna put me on mute again, or can I speak?
Who owned Gucci?
Okay, nobody wears Gucci. Only you immigrants wear Gucci because y'all sell it in Times Square all day. Nobody wears that crap, but you guys. Jim Jones recently got discriminated against at Gucci. He's a black immigrant. That's you guys. You guys are materialistic. You guys are uncivilized. You guys are wasteful. You're unintelligent. You're homeless all over New York, and I know this, and I could go take.
So you're not wearing Sneakers right now? You're not wearing all your paycheck on your clothes right now?
No, I'm not, man. My paycheck goes into my
investment. It goes to the white man. Let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. It goes to the white man. As soon as you get paid, you end up going and put that money on your clothes. You buy all these nonsense. No, that's what you do. That's what you're known for. Okay, who buys Jordan? Who buys Jordans?
Who is Wale?
Who buys Jordans?
Who is Wale?
Wait, I asked you a question. Who buys Jordans? Who buys expensive Jordans?
Can you please control your emotions, please?
Okay, I'll control my emotions. Please.
Yeah, please. Wait.
Wale made a song called.
Look, you gotta let the host speak, okay? You cannot look. You need to allow the host to speak. You can't be talking all over me. This is pretty disrespectful. This is what I was. This is what I was talking about here.
I apologize.
You see,
I'm
the place where I'm from, you when you call into a show, you let the host speak. This is a family show. I do not want. Okay, we don't want people, teenagers to think it's okay to interrupt the host. So please get your emotions on the check. If not, I'll kick you away.
Okay, I got you. I apologize.
All right.
I'm an ignorant Yankee.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yes. All right. Well, hold on. I got somebody smart to speak real.
Oh, you're an ignoramus.
Only me. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Afridamos. How you doing?
I am doing well. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Oh my goodness, he is more emotional than a woman on her period. I tell you that. My God, this guy is this guy is just dripping emotion. Anyway,
What do you want
uh,
to add to the conversation from,
oh yes,
like, because
I've
you've
been
already
listening.
seen other conversations where I've shown Tariq's conversation with Somalis, other Africans, and now with the two white men, but still, it's still the
Hmm.
same pattern, kind of
I have
disrespecting
seen
other
this
people.
conversation.
Oh,
Hmm.
you have? Okay, tell me
Oh
what you
yes, I
think.
have
Go
seen
ahead.
this conversation before. And you know what kicked me was when he said that you should clean up Rome and it's dirty. That's what he said. And I was like, how dare he? Like, you know, the thing that he does not understand is Rome is historical city. An historical city, you destroy your history. The history of the Roman Empire, he
Well,
cannot fathom.
he's getting
That
away
is
with
what
it
was
because
coming to my
people like
how
Reyes,
can he come? Sorry?
because of he is getting away with it because people like Reyes. Let's hear what he want to say real quick, and then
Okay.
Reyes,
Hmm.
what do you want to
Go ahead.
say before I allow only me to finish her point?
Okay. Okay. I apologize. I'm not
Can you speak
emotional.
loud? We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. I'm not emotional and passionate, but at the same time, I respect everyone here. I just want to have civil discourse with my African brothers. That's all I want. But you have to deal with people on a square, or else we'll act a fool. That's just how it goes. We're not going to play with you anymore. Back in the days, we
Who
used to
is
play with you.
we? Who is we?
Black Americans, we're not playing with you guys anymore. It's not a game anymore. You
But
Uh-huh.
guys got
what
to
you're
learn.
saying, you're projecting though. What you accuse others is what you're projecting
Projecting
off.
what? Projecting what specifically?
Reyes,
Projecting
are you
exactly by saying
Reyes?
that, oh, people buy other stuff when you yourself are known to take your money and give it to the same white oppressors
No.
that you complain about. That's what you
Okay.
do. Everything you
Okay.
do.
Can I respond? You can't drag stuff out. That's
Go
not
ahead, go ahead.
okay. Okay. You can't drag it out. We deal in a society where we move in a fast pace. We don't have time to drag out things. Here we go. That's
Then
not
why
true.
do you
What?
drag things?
Oh God. Here we go. I'm
Reyes, remember the host can talk at any time. Okay? Please be civilized. Go ahead.
hold on. I had to unmute myself. Okay, you're right. I'll shut up when you speak, Daddy.
Thank you.
Here we go. Here we go. Um, No, what you're saying that we do is something that was told to you. Because you know why? I came from out west, and there was a lot of Ethiopians out there, and they got into all this fashion. And I used to tell them, like, you're
I want to talk about the Italian and Tariq. Leave the Ethiopians out of this. You're all over the place. If you first it was my muscles and then now other stuff. Can you just stick with the topic? If not, you know what? Let me put you here first. Um, Olimi, go ahead. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, Olimi. Are you
No,
there?
you took her out, I think.
Oh,
You took
oh, there she is.
you took
Sorry.
me out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You kicked me out. No, it's fine. It's
Sorry.
fine. So yeah, what I was saying was that this low intelligent man was telling Italian to clean up his fortresses and his historical treasure. He was
Mm-hmm.
telling him to destroy and build high scrape whatever scraper or high buildings and
Skyscrapers.
shit like that,
Mhm.
skyscraper. Europe don't do that. Europe is full of historical buildings. They don't want to hide those buildings, you understand? So he can, the historical and buildings behind this thing, he cannot fathom because that history he doesn't have, so he cannot fathom that, you understand?
It's just a
So for
display of
him, it
ignorance.
is for him it was dirty. Yeah, for him it was looking dirty, but it's not. And then when he said that the European are eating potatoes and having lice, I live in Europe. I was laughing at
Look,
that. Like,
look. You don't
what
even.
are you
You don't even.
talking about?
Everyone
Like,
knows.
we are
People
living
know
in the
this. The
first
man.
world country.
Yeah, the man is.
Yeah,
Is
we have
just.
a free healthcare. We have a free healthcare. you know,
Mhm.
saying. So he is
He's
so
just silly.
ignorant, man. It's so ridiculous. I was so ashamed to hear him to hear him saying all this stuff about the Italian and the Europeans, and that was like, oh my God, can you please shut the hell up? Like it's enough with your ignorance. But yeah, that was something that I caught, and also I have to just quickly say this. I want to say last night, but I had no time to say
Mm,
it. When people
go
talk
ahead.
about immigrants from Africa, right? When we come to Europe and America, people that we left behind are expecting us to succeed, right?
Hmm.
They're expecting us to come back, either be academically and succeeding, or like
Hmm.
business, or at least bring money or land, buy land, build something. So people behind that we left behind are expecting for us to succeed. So when we come here, we are conditioned to succeed,
Look,
because
don't
otherwise when
even
we go
waste your
back,
time trying to tell,
you understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
You
people.
understand? So that's what I was thinking. Like, we don't have time to play around with you. We come, we want to succeed, to show off what we can bring back home. So that was,
Absolutely.
I was thinking last night. I'm like, that's so disgusting when they say like, you don't
You're
come to
right.
me, you don't,
No,
exactly. But like
look.
this
Don't even.
Italian guy put him to straight. That's what all I want to say. This Italian guy, he put him in his position, in his place. I have seen a video, a rapper, I don't know who he is, American rapper, crying that Gucci was not serving him water. Have you
Right.
seen that video? He was crying and
Yeah.
saying, look, I've been in Gucci 3 hours. They did not give me any water,
Yeah.
any champagne. I want to spend so much money, ten,
Yeah.
$20,000, and they did
Think
not want to
about
serve him.
crying. Think about crying and begging somebody just to spend your money to
Exactly.
them.
He spent thousands of dollars. He said, I want to spend $20,000 over here, and they don't even give me bubble water.
Yeah.
Like, that was so crazy. Yeah.
Go buy
Anyway,
your own
they
bubble water. It's cheap.
they wear the European clothes, all these things that they wear. Also, these rappers, right? These rapper, who are behind these rappers? These are Jewish companies. White people are actually investing in these people. Literally, you know what I'm saying? All the football players.
This is
White
true.
people are behind this. White people are funding this. You are just a tool, and you are proud of entertaining people. This is what I don't understand. They're so proud of entertaining people. Oh, I rap, I play ball, I'm a football player. Like, that's entertainment.
Hmm.
Come when you have intelligence to show for you. You know what I'm saying? Academic wise, that's what's missing. Anyway, that's all I need to say for now. If
Thank
anybody's
you.
behind me, I can
Thank
wait.
you. Thank you. I'll put you
Yeah.
back here. Mike, thank you for calling. Mike, where you calling from?
Hey, how are you, man? Hey, I think that Ray ass guys, I think he does cocaine before he calls on his show. That's why he tends to yell and act the way he acts. But anyway, sorry, man. I just want to
Where you
correct.
calling from again, Mike?
Yeah, I'm coming from the U.S., man.
US. Okay, thank
Yeah, I
you.
just want to correct the something he said about the point he made about the Statue of Liberty. He said the FBA built the Statue of Liberty. Actually, it was the French
No, he
that
didn't.
built the Statue of.
He
He,
didn't
he
say
actually
he
he
didn't say
said.
that, but I'm sure he will. But I
But
didn't hear.
he also said the
Oh, he
Statue of
did.
Liberty
Okay.
was a black woman, and he's actually right on that one. The Statue of Liberty was actually the symbol of the goddess of liberty, which is the African goddess of liberty. It's
Either
actually
way, it was made by the French, and they gave it.
it was a
It
gift to
was a
the U.S.
gift.
government. Yeah,
So whether it's of but I'm sure he's gonna say an FBA made it, but
yeah.
that's
He said
not here or
she's a
there.
black woman. He was right. She's a black woman, but she's not an FBA woman. That's the point I was trying to make to him.
Well,
It's actually the goddess of liberty, which is it's a Yoruba goddess called Moremi. She's the goddess of liberty. So just to
no. Wait. Why are you trying to steal Tariq's history? She is FBA. Stop, stop trying to steal this man's history.
Yeah, I was just trying to correct him. Hey, she's a black woman,
Sir,
but she's not FBA now. So don't.
sir, be careful, okay? You're trying to steal this FBA man's history.
She's a Native American FBA woman. That's who she is.
Well, so Mike, that's what you wanted to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to correct that.
All
Before
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you. KBM, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. one of the last times that I was on, I said something to the effect of, Tariq is just like, you know, being racist towards, or FBA and ADOS types are being racist towards y'all as well as other people. So this is a great example of what I was saying before, other people. So here he's trying to attack the Italian guy in the exact same way. However, you could tell this Italian guy has been through this before. And the
Right.
only way that Tariq could actually, like, silence him was by muting him just about every single time.
Well, he does that with anyone he's talking to. If you call him, he's not gonna allow you to talk. He's gonna make fun of you. He's gonna instigate, just like he's doing.
Right.
And you hear him laughing in the background. So Tariq himself don't even believe these things, but he is playing to the ignorance of many, like Reyes, who we
Right.
still have back here. I don't know if you're interested in even talking to him.
No.
Oh,
I don't.
hey,
No. I'm not interested in talking to somebody that's going to be like that. So the other part of the thing I wanted to say about Tariq is, think about it. He's got his hidden colors collection. I think
Right.
he sells T-shirts. He sells a lot of speech, and the only customer he really has. Just think about it. Who would really, outside of Black Americans, of the ignorance that you're talking about and that we're talking about,
I know.
who
I've
would
never
actually
heard outside of this group anyone talking about watching that.
who would be interested in buying that collection, his T-shirts or whatever? It's only that group. So he's got to cater to that one and only group. And I heard somebody the other day on another panel, like about a week ago, far away from this area, right? Saying that his hidden colors videos were absolutely brilliant, right? And I'm like thinking, but how can they be that brilliant if only one particular demographic would ever buy them?
Right.
How brilliant is that?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question. Reyes, what do
can
you
I
want to say?
excuse me, KBM, can I speak to you?
If
No?
you're intelligible, yes,
Okay, intelligible, you mean you can understand me, correct?
exactly.
Understood. You're from California, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I know your type. I grew up in California. You're one of the type who just go over there for easy cooch, and then you fill him with all this false pride, and then you just egg it on. You're the problem. You cause this division, and you're just feeding into it. Because I lived out west, I saw y'all do it.
So Reyes,
Well, Ray, what did I do? Yeah, out west. I'm from the west, so what did I do out west? Feed me a speech. Come on.
go
Hello?
ahead, Reyes.
Video.
Hello?
Reyes, go ahead, Reyes.
Okay, I heard your video where you condemned empowering ADOS, and you said Black Americans didn't build America and we didn't help Black immigrants get to America. That's a lie. Booker T. Washington sponsored Caribbeans and Africans to come to Tuskegee University.
That's not true. He
That
didn't
has
have
nothing to do
money.
with the Immigration Act. So
No, it's a build.
feed me a
It's a
different speech,
build-up. It's
because
a
that one is
build-up.
a
It's a
lie.
build-up.
You're not
It's a
intelligible right
build-up.
now,
Yes,
so I'm gonna go ahead and leave because you're not intelligible.
Hold on.
I don't argue with fools.
Yeah. So Reyes, I'm gonna ask you. Obviously, you are not Booker T. Washington. Why do you want to take credit for Booker T. Washington from many years ago?
Right, master. I do not want to take.
So why do you keep
credit.
bringing it up? You are not.
I'm not. I
you know,
just brought it up. It's not keeping. I brought
look,
up one point.
so you
What
are
I
not
am
Booker
saying-
T.
what I
You
am
are not.
saying,
You are not Booker T. Washington. Answer that
Plantation Act
question.
in 1965. We fought for them to come here. You do not
No, you
know
didn't.
history. You went to
No, you
California
didn't.
schools that
No, you didn't.
this white man doesn't have an education.
Actually, I'm not white. I don't cater to the government label.
Well, KBM, thank you for calling in. Unless you want to say your last piece.
No, that was fun. I just wanted to point those two things out.
Well, thank you for calling in.
You're welcome.
Mo Solomon. Mo, thank you for calling in again. What's on your mind?
Yeah. First, I'd like to say, hello, guys, including you, Afrodamus.
Hello.
I've missed yesterday's show due to work, but I'm back today.
Well, I hope you find the time to watch it. It was a good show.
Yeah, I'm halfway through, and then this show started, so I was like, I'm gonna finish that off later.
All right, what's on your mind?
Firstly, I like to start off with Tariq Nasheed. I'd like to make the point clear on this guy. He has to be the biggest hustler going on the internet since, I don't know, since forever. This guy has hustled millions of pounds from people with very low IQ. He made them feel like they're victims. He basically, because these low IQ people, they've not strived or achieved anything of any significance, so they're looking for someone to blame. And Tariq Nasheed has given them that.
So do you
And
think who should be blamed? They should they blame themselves
yes,
or
because
Tariq
again,
Nasheed?
you're looking at us Africans. We came from war-torn countries. We've come from people. We've come from people killing each other. We've come from foreign interventions destroying our country, and then we've gone to Europe trying to look for a better way. We've gone into those countries, and in a matter of what 2 decades, we surpassed them, and they've been there for 400 years. So they're looking for a way to get their anger out. They can't go at the white man because the white man runs again. This is another thing. The white man runs the country. Specific white men, not all of them.
Right.
The Jewish run big businesses and banking. The Chinese have taken over the hood stores. If you look at any of the areas called the hood, you're gonna look at the supermarkets and any of the shops and stores. It's always run by an Asian. You're never gonna see a black business-owned guy running the shops. No, you're always gonna see an Asian running it for them. These people are not business-driven at all. They have no idea. They have no way to strive for. They have no ideals and goals. So they're looking for a way to vent their anger. And
so you think Tariq is just he's playing on how he's playing on their insecurities?
Yes, he's playing them like a violin on the chord. This guy is doing he is probably the biggest hustler. See, another thing I've noticed about this Tariq character is every time someone tries to debate him, because yesterday I was watching a debate where I was watching several Africans debate this guy. I was watching a Nigerian debate this guy. And every time the Nigerian tried to come back with a point, he cuts him off and he goes, "You smell."
Right. You
So
see
then
how disrespectful that is?
Exactly my point. He deflects the Nigerian from answering the point and giving the evidence for it. He makes sure that just before the Nigerian answers, he says something insulting. And then when
just
the Nigerian
like he's doing like this, just like he was doing to the Italian man.
Exactly. He likes to control the narrative. He doesn't let anyone speak. And when he sees someone is intelligent enough to answer his questions and actually make him look silly, he runs off with these little insults. He says that, "Oh, you're African. Oh, you smell." First of all, he needs to understand Africans are cleaner than he is. Cleaner than he is.
But don't be surprised. Didn't you hear him say the Italian, they are suffering. They have lice in their head eating potatoes. They're struggling. So you can't take this man serious.
Italians fought for them. Italians fought for African Americans. The reason why most of these bills, because I've looked into this, the reason why most of these bills got passed is because of the Italians. So instead of thanking the Italians, again, because the Italians were the ones that were in the city, while the African Americans were predominantly based in countrysides. Right. So again, all of these movements, everything of significance for these people was started by the Italian and the Irish. So again, instead of thanking the Irish and saying that thank you, he's trying to downplay the Irish's and the Italians' role in this. Even though they did most of the heavy lifting, he's trying to downplay what they did.
So, Mo,
yeah.
Since you listened to it, did you hear, like the term to say, "Oh, Africans, you're fleeing," and all?
Yeah.
So, do you think you heard the Italian man say, "You guys fled from the south"? So
exactly my point.
So again, so do you think they are just using projection?
They're using projection, and then again, that the Italian made a very significant point where he goes that you guys have fled in the south. You're doing exactly what you accuse us of. And again, you guys went there voluntarily. You went to the cities. We left. We had no choice. Most of the Africans that left African countries had no choice. It was either death or escape.
So yeah, some of them.
Exactly. Yeah. So some of them was either death or escape.
Right.
Mo,
we left.
I have a question, bro.
Yeah.
And that is, do you think this FBA and ADOS will start making videos about Ukrainian refugees fleeing, coming to America now? You think
No, they won't.
they're gonna call
No,
those
they
white
won't.
people as
White
immigrants and fleeing?
supremacy. Yeah, white
Yeah.
supremacy.
Do you think they're gonna start making videos about Ukrainian coming here to America now as refugees or immigrants and
No,
taking over the jobs and all this stuff? They won't, because they
no, they
have a
won't.
specific people they want to target, which is
Because
other minorities, Mexicans,
exactly, they have something
other
called
Africans.
the Stockholm syndrome, or as I like to call it in Somali, the Miskeen syndrome.
Oh,
Exactly.
miskin syndrome. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they do is basically these people, they have so much of a Stockholm syndrome that they see the white man as literal superior. The fact that the white man beat the black out of them so bad for 400 years, they don't even see themselves as black. Oh, we're Indies. Oh, we're Hoteps. Oh, we're Hebrews. They will deflect the word black. They will deflect the word African. The word African. They hate it so badly. When you tell an African American, you're African. No, I'm Hebrew. I'm an Israelite. We're the chosen people. It says in the Bible. You have no connection to ancient Egypt. You have no connection to Israelites. You have no connection to any of the claims that they say. But then again, they run to this. This is what I think. The white man has beaten them so bad, not just physically, but mentally as well. He has broken them mentally. He's
You know what?
rewired them.
Let me bring in Reyes before we close
Yeah.
out, so he can, let's see if he's gonna be civilized and answer this, say his piece as well. But if he doesn't, control his
Yeah, I want to ask this
emotions,
Reyes character questions as well, Afrodamus.
okay, I'll bring him in. Reyes,
Yes, sir.
okay, Reyes,
Yeah.
I'm a fair person, because you
No, you're not,
identify.
but go ahead.
Wait, you're FBA.
No,
you
you're
want
not.
to say all this? So come on in more, and think before you type. Want to ask you some question?
One person
before
at a
I close
time,
the show.
though. One
Yes,
person
yes,
at a
Reyes,
time. Don't trip
can I
into
ask you a
the
question?
please.
yes.
Can I ask you a question? I'm going to ask you a simple questions.
Of course, sir.
Okay. The first question is, do you see yourselves as African? Specifically
Yes,
you.
Do I see my ancestry as part?
No. Do you see yourself as an African?
How can I see myself as an African if I haven't?
Okay,
been
then
here in
you
over
see your
400
ancestors as
years?
African. So
My ancestors are African. Genetically, yes, I am African. No one's denying that.
Okay, secondly then, do you basically associate them yourself with ADOS or any of these other groups like ADOS and FBAs, any of these?
No.
No. So again,
the organization that itself, no.
but what do you mean by the organization? Do you
ADOS is a non-profit organization. No, I'm not a member.
no? But do you again?
FBA is a clan of trolls. I don't follow them. No.
No.
I'm
But
not.
again, do you stand with the ideals of FBA and ADOS?
What ideals do you mean?
Reyes, just
The
answer the
ideals, the
question.
whole-
Stop
Okay,
deflecting.
Exactly
I'm
my
not
point.
deflecting. You speak unclear, and I don't want to make a
No,
mistake.
but
I
Reyes,
literally made it as clear as I can.
Reyes, you know what the man is
Do you lack
saying. Stop
IQ?
pretending.
Okay,
Do you
here
lack
we go.
IQ? Answer my questions.
Here
Yeah,
we go
just
to
answer the
IQ.
man's
I'm
question.
showing you a higher IQ because I'm helping you with your English and your
What?
reasoning. You don't.
You're helping me with my
ask
English.
questions properly.
Reyes,
You just
Reyes.
ask a silly ass question that has no backing.
Reyes, his
How-
English is good. He's
His English is terrible.
Again,
Yours is
again.
he's British, man.
Again,
British. No,
You-
he's not British.
you're-
He's either
you're
Caribbean
throwing-
or African
Listen.
living in
Okay.
Britain. He's not that.
Okay.
whoa,
Wait,
okay.
hold on,
So
more.
again,
Yeah, you're
wouldn't
not
that be
British.
hypocritical?
Wait,
Again,
wait,
You're not
wait.
British.
More,
again.
more,
You're
wait,
not
more. Hold on.
Yeah.
Reyes, you see, Reyes, you're doing it. You are
You're triple
literally
teaming me.
wait.
You're triple
No,
teaming me. You're always
Reyes.
doing what you say you wouldn't do. You're
No,
triple
but
teaming
let me talk. You're
Yeah,
literally.
go
Are
ahead.
you jealous of this man being a British? Is that what you are doing?
No, I've had British
I
cookies.
think
It's all
no.
right.
I think you're jealous.
I like their accents.
You know what?
Sexy as fuck.
So you admire the man's accent. So just say
No, I
it.
said
Stop.
they're females. He sounds
But
soft.
just say it.
He
Do
sounds
not.
soft. He sounds
Come on.
soft with that accent. He
Don't
sounds
worry, you just gotta
soft.
wait a few months for
Yeah.
Pride.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
He's not going to say it.
I'll see
Fine.
you on
Reyes.
8th Ave. I'll see you on 8th Ave. I know you'll be there. This dude.
All right, Ray.
Look how he knows
Here's a-
where it is.
Bro,
Look how he knows where it is. All y'all laugh because y'all all been on 8th
I'm laughing
Ave.
because you just calling a
What does
random shit, man.
again? What does what you said have to do with anything? It just
What
proves
did I
my point and
say?
solidifies it.
What did I say? What did I say?
Mate, it's okay. You can come out any way you want.
Oh,
But so
It's
I'm
okay.
gonna ask him
you
a
don't
question,
answer,
right?
You don't answer. You just
All right.
run your mouth. You're an idiot. All of you.
So Ray,
I'm an
ask
idiot.
the question. I like
You're the one
you.
that's deflecting my question.
I like.
Reyes, let them talk. You promised to not yell. Let the man talk.
But notice how Ray is.
No, man, you gotta let the West Indian, you gotta let the Native Americans talk, man. They're native to the land. There was Canes.
Notice how Ray, when even when he's talking about people's accent and things like that, notice how he's trying so hard to be Americanized. You know what I mean? Trying to be like, oh, like, oh, you don't speak English type of situation, dude. We speak more than one language, man.
I don't care. I don't
exactly.
care. If it doesn't mean,
listen. We learned the English language and we became more proficient at it.
I speak 4 languages.
I don't care. It doesn't make money. Okay, shut
No,
up.
my point still stands. My point still stands. You're deflecting. You're deflecting my question.
Ray, let him talk.
Listen, you're deflecting my question and you're making subjective points. You're not answering anything.
You asked if I subscribe to FBA ideology.
No. You're not answering my second question.
What's your second question? You didn't ask.
Listen to what I'm going to say. I'll repeat it for you again.
Please.
If you'd be quiet and listen, then maybe you'd be able to hear what I'm saying, and stop throwing your 12-year-old tantrums.
Go ahead, Mo. Ask him real quick.
Face to face, boy. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Face to face. You think you're gonna harm me face to face?
No, Mo. Just guys.
You're getting too emotional, man.
Guys.
You're getting too emotional.
Yeah, guys, calm down. Okay, I'll give you guys quick 1 minute each. Before I drop you guys off. So think before you type. Go for it. What's your last piece?
All right. This is always funny, man. But just to kind of sum it up, right? Like these guys, especially the Tariq type, FBA, ADOS, they are suffering from it straight up like Stockholm syndrome. They suffering from severe mental, disorder in a sense, because no sane person would try to claim others. You know what I mean? Whether Native Americans and all this stuff. I would not be surprised. I'm telling you this. I would not be surprised if these FBAs and ADOS start claiming the Aztec history. You know what I mean? Start saying like we're the Aztecs. You know what I mean? All this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. But what I'm trying to say is that notice whenever they bring up the FBA and I try to tell them, hey, what is FBA, right? So they'll say Foundational Black Americans, right? So you say, okay, so you're an American. All right. So when you look at the Star Spangled Banner, right?
Right.
The American anthem. There's a third verse that has been taken out.
Right.
Yeah, that's been taken out, right? The stanza, right? The verse, but there's a third verse. And the verse that was taken out, right, which was actually calling Black Americans as, is enslaved, you know what I mean? And they were coming after them, you know what I mean? So these ADOS and FBS always keep claiming to be American. They can't wait to tell us how American they are. But at the same time, when it comes to the national anthem, when it comes to the way they talk about how America is treated them, how how America has oppressed them and all this, situations, it's like they have a two contradiction point of view. All right, so I'm like, listen, either tell me you're an American, right, and you're telling me you're proud American, but at the same time, if you're doing so, don't freaking and don't try to come up with other nonsense saying that, oh, you've been oppressed by America. So which one is it? Like pick a lane. Yeah, it's a contradictory points of view. You know what I mean? They'll have the American flag behind them. They'll sing the national anthem, even though there's a verse, the original anthem was used to insult them, you know what I mean? And used in so many ways against them. But they'll tell us, hey, I'm an American. They'll use acronyms and they'll always associate themselves with America. But yet at the same time, they use America to insult others. But when it comes to America itself, they'll tell us how America has insulted them and abused them. So they're suffering from mental disorder, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Now we have Reyes. Reyes, what do you want to say?
I want to say you guys are beautiful human beings, and may God bless you on this glorious day. And I like to say, hey, I hope you take everything in stride and understand I'm just trying to bring us together, because you guys are misinformed, and that's it.
Thank you, Reyes.
God bless you, brother.
Thank you.
Eat a dick.
Mo, welcome to the show.
You see, the last sentence he said, I knew there's something wrong with this guy. I'm gonna say this guy, he's maybe going to the left direction. There's something clearly wrong with this guy. I don't think he's normal. That's firstly I was gonna say. Secondly, I was gonna say
something is is for sure wrong with him.
He's talking about a man's muscles, and then he says this last sentence.
Yes. And
So
of
secondly,
course, he shamelessly called back.
exactly.
But go ahead, say your last piece.
What I think is these people are conquered mentally. They conquered physically. They conquered every way possible. 400 years of whips, lashes, beating the black out of them, and Africanism. Now they hate themselves. They look in the mirror and they want to be anything else but African. This is the reason why they claim. You see, have you noticed this? In African American communities in America, they claim mixed children. Right. They say that anybody that's mixed is with us.
Yeah, they have one drop rule.
Exactly my point. They want to claim everybody that has an interracial heritage, and they want to claim them as their own. Anybody with a percentage of their DNA is black. This clearly shows to me the hate that they have for themselves. They have hate for themselves in their heart. This is the reason why they identify with anything but African. And you made a great point as well, Afridamus, in your previous show where you said, why do they keep going to Ethiopia instead of going back to the lands where they came from?
Right.
They try to make embassies there. They try to go to Ethiopia. They try to connect with East Africa when they have nothing to do with it. They try to go to Egypt. They try to find actual Egyptians and say that we are Egyptians. What? I've seen a video of an African American starting a community in the capital city, Cairo, where they try to basically they're going around recording random videos to farmers who have no idea what they're talking about, saying that you're fake, you're not real Egyptians, we are.
Right. Well, this is fascinating, but Mo, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mo, and that's gonna bring us to the end of today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned. Some people are gonna, be as normal. Like you guys know Reyes. You guys heard him. He's back here writing derogatory things. So his privilege of being able to call this show is being revoked. So Reyes, since you want to be disrespectful, you're banned from calling the show as well. So this man came in my chat here. You will not believe what he is writing. The man is referencing penis in my writing penis. You guys remember when he first came, he talked about my muscles. Now he's referencing penis. Can you guys believe this? This is the type of things I'm talking about. This is the type of people that come out online and say they represent Black America. And nobody finds this weird. How strange is this? This guy is goofy. I can't, you know what? I need to get off. I hope you guys had a wonderful time, and I sure did. I'll see you guys another day.
Entre más lejos, más feliz. Era un veneno y lo bebí. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Siempre se la peli esa actriz, pero ya vamos llegando al fin. Yeah, yeah. Somos felices a distancia. Ya no aguanto tu fragancia. Tú no eres consentida, que la tienes merecida. Somos felices a distancia. Ya no aguanto tu fragancia. Tú no eres consentida, que la tienes merecida. Cogiste la rosa y escupiste pina. Nunca será Nati ni seré tu pina. Gucci, Dior, baby, te ves fina. Qué pena que sea falsa, hecha en China. De pronto no era tan malo, ni tú tan buena como tú lo creías. En los fines pa' pasar la